I'll job up and going here. What am I looking for here again? Song. Yeah.
He come to me with money in his hand. He offered me. I didn't ask him. I wasn't knocking someone's door down. I was running from that. When I got out, I was in that. I was already through that. I had that. I had the studio. I went to the studio. Went to Fox Studios. I had it all. And I looked at it. I said, "This bigger jail than I just got out of. I don't want to take my time going to work. I got a motorcycle and a sleeping bag and 10 or 15 girls. What the hell I want to go off and go to work for? Work for what? Money? I got all the money in the world. I'm the king, man. I'm the underworld guy. I decide who does what and where they do it at. When am I going to run around and act like I'm some teeny bopper somewhere for somebody else's money? I make the money, man. I roll the nickels. The game's mine. I deal the cards.
Hey, Rainbow.
Hello. What you doing?
Oh, you know, just chilling. We are live, by the way.
Hello.
Yeah. Here's a good question. Do you think that the day phase stuff, Rain and Red Knight, dragged due to the mechanics or due to the just like how I ran it? Because I feel like mechanically could have gone fast.
I think it was how you ran it, unfortunately.
That's fair. I'll have to see like a slightly different environment or whatever if I can get it.
Mechanically, it's very simple.
But also, I feel like people were struggling to pick one, and they're like, maintain isn't something that I need to do, but they did it anyway, so it kind of put it in a weird spot.
Yeah, I mean, the suggestions I made for changing the way maintain works may have been incorrect. I think actually the way you had it is probably better, to be honest, after playing it now. So yeah, that's my bad, to be honest. Like,
no, I mean it's an alpha build, like, because like at first I thought that the maintain, I agreed that the maintain might come off as a burden, but then and also like the question is it in every instance or is it how I've deployed this Red Knight?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I can't really say for sure. I don't know. Sorry, I'm trying to eat dinner and talk at the same time.
That's a good queen. We stand in nutritionating queen. Nutritionating isn't the word.
But yeah, I mean, I think a little bit of it had to do with you, like, I think you definitely could have like pushed people to just make a decision faster. Because you basically just said like, what do you want to do?
Yeah, which is such an amateur mistake to make it in a role-playing game as a DM. So like, I really walked into that landmine
like I think the way you had it in your head, I don't know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but like the way you had it in your head was like, I'll ask them what they want to do, and then take what they want to do and apply it to one of the actions, right? Say like, oh, you want to do that? Well, that actually is this action, so this is the action you're taking. Instead of asking them, which action do you want to take, and
Yeah.
in what form does it manifest? Which would have been like I think the way to kind of like phrase that question.
Mhm.
Um. Yeah. So I don't know. Like, I feel like I still think my like I still agree with what my stance was last time we talked about it. Where like,
Mhm.
yeah, I think it would be a pain in the ass to have to maintain every single reel. But clearly, what I had didn't work. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's one of those things that needs to evolve. And also, the question is like, how do I sideline a majority of the real world's time that passes in favor of the events in the Red Knight, especially if I'm going to tie Red Knight mysteries into the real life aspect, which in the Persona games and stuff that I'm cribbing from here is a pretty big aspect. So
Yeah.
I wonder if I'm not under designing the real in some ways.
Maybe.
But I don't
But-
want to. I don't want to go the wrong direction and make it its whole own game either.
Yeah.
Because like, in a way, I feel like leaving it freeform wasn't the problem.
I think maybe you could like I think you could have implemented some of the already pre-existing mechanics
Mm-hmm.
into like the real like the I think a lot of the resolution mechanics can still be used in the real, just
For sure, absolutely. Also,
Different
thank you, Bigfoot Bjornson, for the follow.
quality name.
Indeed. We salute you, Bigfoot.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's a hard question to answer, I think. I think maybe if we try like I think maybe a good idea, like from a kind of a testing standpoint, right,
Mm-hmm.
is to leave it as is, like rules wise, and like go through another real turn after the next session or during the next session, maybe, right?
Yeah, we don't want to like overly hot patch here.
And like see if it doesn't work twice in a row, it's probably like something to do with the rules,
Yeah. So we're leaving that alone for the moment. Is there anything else? Were there any other like rules conundrums that I remember? You renegotiated, and then I designated you as the propositioner, and I do remember some people being like, "What?" at the time, and I was just like, go with it." But
like I feel the reason that felt weird.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Madeline. Yeah, I agree with what Madeline says, but what you said in chat just now, but I think like
well, in theory, they're not supposed to get a sequence, right? By the way, Madeline, if you'd like to join this chat, you're free to. It's just a gang out. I can send you the link, but I was imagining people would just tap one of these and then be done without a sequence, but then I keep this. Sorry, but you're saying something.
Like like some of it was really good, and some of it was like super pointless. Like the cave stuff was cool, and the talk with Mouty and everything, that was cool. But then like when you're asking Cole like 3 times in a row over the period of like 40 minutes, like how do you spend your evening, like drinking with the boys? Like no, like
Yeah, no, I went digging there. That was
the thing is, I think
a
what
faux
like okay,
pas.
like you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think what happened was you spent a lot of time on Pat and Madeline, right? And then like you did that DM thing of like, okay, well, I split the party, so now I have to get those other players in, right? But you like we didn't have anything that was important to the story to do at that point, so you tried to just like get us to do something, right? When what you should have done is just moved it to the Red Knight as fast as possible there, so that we could have joined back in and done something, because now we're
Yeah.
back to the interesting part for our players, right? Like you didn't have to force something for us in the reel, you just had to get out of the reel so that we could do something, you know?
And I think that's. And I think part of my issue is also I wanted to check everyone's box, and like I didn't just send this to people and be like, know what you do during the day, which is what I should have done, especially because like I'd never explained any mechanics to anybody. Cole's like, well, indulging sounds cool. I'm like, wait, you have no reason to indulge right now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that I well deployed the rules. You know?
Back to your question about the dicker we did. The reason it felt a little weird, I think, was because we basically walked up to the stage. There's a girl frozen on it, and there's a bunch of, and then we open the door, and there's a bunch of like.
I
spooky ghost guys.
sent Madeline the link to the to the Red Knight. Talking about
You're trolling?
rather than sending her the
You're trolling.
I am trolling. What even am I right now? It's very foolish. Correcting that.
You basically we opened the door and 3 gas clouds, loathsome clouds, like came out, right?
Yeah.
And then immediately you were like, they would like to dicker, and it's like, but their interest is her. So why do they care? Like, we're just there. Like, we didn't like. I agree. We probably should have been the propositioners, but you didn't really, because we were kind of rushing and it was like near the end, right?
Yeah,
you didn't really. You didn't really give us a chance to like RP with them for a second to make it obvious that we were the propositioners. Like,
yeah, that's probably what it is. Hi, Madeline.
Hey.
hello. How you doing?
I'm good. Sorry, I have to mute Twitch. Right now I'm getting the fun echo effect.
Yes.
Yeah.
The like quarter-second delay too.
But
so
yeah,
it just...
it's a fun loop.
I know this is like a thing that everybody has, but when I hear myself talking, or while I'm talking, I can't like continue talking.
I've had that trip up before.
It makes me like stumble over my words.
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah, it's some sort of uncanny dissonance.
Mm-hmm.
I forget. There was some like shitty Discord setup that I had to suffer through one time, and like I heard my own voice constantly throughout it, and I kept thinking I was cutting myself off. And it was a weird. The worst part that was like, because I've gotten over the sound of my own voice at some point in recordings, but the one thing I never get over is when someone says Lee in like an attention-grabbing way in a recording, and I'm just sitting there kind of half-zoned, and I'm like, shit, I've been activated. But no, it's the recording.
That's like your DM mode activating.
No, yeah, it is though. It's like
DM mode initiated.
I'm going from like reflecting to like, I'm in the zone, the auto zone.
DM PTSD.
But yeah,
we're talking about Red Knight stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, I heard, and I think it is. I think part of the problem with Red Knight is the mechanics are simple, but yeah, it does occasionally, since they're so formal for what they are, it is kind of hard to sometimes like get into a dicker or a fight that feels organic.
Yeah, I wonder if
Because with dickering, it's like that's not how we normally negotiate with NPCs in like any game. So there's not like the preliminary phase maybe needs to be worked out. Like I think it's fine to roll for the thing, but
yeah, I definitely think that like I think that one Dicker that went well was with the demons in the bar.
The one I did, yeah.
Yeah, when Zarina was like,
Mhm.
well, let's play a card game. And then it was well established in fiction what the fuck was happening.
Yeah, but
and it's
I
also
think-
like mechanically, how does the system reflect a card game? Like if you want to do something other than just negotiate, I never would have thought of that. But like, it's a cool concept, and it should be a thing that you can do.
Well, that's
if it makes
just
sense.
I do that so much. I hate using rules as written. I don't know why, but I'm just annoying like that. Like no matter what I'm doing in like any tabletop, I'll just be like, okay, I know it says fireball, but like ice ball, and then like
we stand a rules as intended, queen.
my DM is like, okay, but it still does fire damage, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. Like,
Yeah, it's icy hot.
yeah, like yeah. You know, like, yeah, I'll think up some convoluted reason like that. Yeah, like the ice is like burning, so like it does fire damage. Like,
Yeah.
so like yeah, when Lee was like, okay, so you're gonna have like social interactions, I was like, okay, but card games, like, it's like, you know, all about bluffing and like social cues, so that makes right? I don't know, but anyways,
Yeah.
I think that one went really well because there was like 10 minutes of roleplay before it happened, you know.
Yeah.
Like we were talking with the demons and they were saying like oh, will you do this thing for us, like go, like please go stop this angel, and like, or like don't stop the angel, and like, you know, and then yada yada yada, and like basically I was able to like really spin it and be like oh, you don't want me to do that? Are you willing to bet your soul on it? Like, you know, and like make it really interesting. Like, but yeah, like the one.
Yeah, and that one made sense because it seemed like an ecstasy glider would be a risk taker. Like you're the same kind of thing. Where with Lonesome Cloud, it's like, really, is this the guy who's gonna, risk it all and possibly not achieve their aim, even though they could just go around us or at least fight us?
The thing was that I thought was weird about it wasn't the fact that they got into a dicker with us. It was that it was like they come through the door and just immediately assume that we're like gonna stop them.
Yeah, no.
When we hadn't like said anything to them even.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that definitely like having like a weird scene where they start like the weird clouds start to get up on the pop singer would have been a much more
Mhm.
evocative and interesting scenario where you guys had to decide
Ooh,
what to
yeah.
do. I think that I was trying to rush too hard and fast to the mechanical flags of this game. Well, that's
We
not
were
really
very pressed for time at that point. It was
Yeah.
past midnight already,
Yeah.
so I don't entirely blame you there.
But yeah, I mean, it is a sort of situation. I think I was thinking about like maybe like cutting off there, like for the night, but then I like went way past it unnecessarily. I don't know, perhaps in vain hopes of finding a cliffhanger. I could have made that the cliffhanger, to be honest. They pop out.
I mean, what would we do without a cliffhanger that we then
Oh.
forget about and lose all of the tension for?
Nothing,
Spoiler.
nothing.
I'm sorry, Lib. I'll try to not eat into my mic.
No, it's mukbang time. It's mukbang time. What are you eating?
Well, I got pizza, but the thing that's making all the noise
Mm-hmm.
is onion rings.
Onion
They're nice-
rings.
They're crunchy, yeah.
Oh, crunchy onion rings. Are they like that good onion ring that's like basically just a deep fried onion with breading?
Correct.
Fuck yes, Larry loves them too. There's a burger joint probably closed down by now in the town that my brother and I would go to sometime called the Dairy Freeze. And oh man, when I got like a burger and onion rings from there, I would not be through like more than 1.5 of those items before I could just feel my vital organs begin to give out. Oh god, yes.
American portion
Jesus.
size Omega.
Oh yeah, no, they were fucking huge too. That was the taste of freedom, Lerb.
No, I remember like the place I ordered from is this little shop that's like just down the road from me, and it's called Super Duper Pizza, which is like the worst name ever. Okay, and our branding is really
Wait,
bad
to the
too.
burger joint?
No, it's a pizza place. It's called
Okay.
it's called Super Duper Pizza. Okay.
Wow, that does not sound right.
Yeah, right. It's really bad branding.
Like an elementary schooler was asked to name
Yeah,
a pizza
yeah,
place,
yeah,
and this
yeah,
is what
yeah,
they
yeah.
came up with.
Or like the author of Scott Pilgrim versus the World was like coming up with a pizza place.
Yeah, like it's not a great name, right? However, the pizza is in fact super duper 'cause it's really fucking good.
Damn. That's that pizza. It's like Pussy Got Me Acting Strange. Where like Pizza Got Me Acting Strange. Like
It's one of those memes where it's like it's like super duper pizza. That's stupid, and then you just like eat a slice. You're like, oh my god, it's super duper. Holy shit! Like,
they get you. You can't even. It's Food Wars. It's like your pizza could never be super or duper. Oh, and then they like eat it.
to eat it, it's like,
And, like, oh.
Their clothes
impossible.
fly off, a giant golden light strikes them.
Yeah,
They're suddenly in
and
a
they go-
field.
They're like, impossible. It's both super and duper.
Oh.
No.
Trigger climax. But yeah, I think the overall takeaway of like my kerfuffles last session, which of course had extenuating circumstances, was that like I was rushing to trigger some mechanical flags, and I was taking too long on some light mechanics that didn't really need them, namely the day phase.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just an off session because you had to do other things. Like, I don't think you need to read too much into it. Though I would say about Dickering in general, so far, like, one of the things you might want to do is give us a reason to want something other than Assumption. Like, I love Assumption. I want, all of the things except for the ones that I don't want inside me.
Mhm.
But, like, it does kind of lead to Dickers that are only really about that because we never want anything else. We're not given a reason to want other things.
Also, like Hina is nice because she moves the plot forward, but if she didn't exist, I'd just be like yeah, okay, we're in the Red Knight now, but like why do I care to go do anything? Like, I'll just wait here for an hour and then I'll be back in the Rio. Cool. Like,
Yeah, there's going to be both that and Hina's presence in the plot have a resolution coming, but I don't want to say too much about that.
Ooh.
Sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I hear you, Queen. You're heard and you're seen, because you're valid.
Currently, I don't feel like I am being made to want to do anything.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
fair.
like in character, you don't have a reason to care about the plot,
Mhm.
which I mean, none of us really do. I just
Mine
can't
is-
turn off it. Like, I love RPG plots, and I'm like, I must pursue the mystery, regardless
your
of what character I
character
play. So I
is-
try to play a character interested in it,
Yeah, like your character is inherently
interested
like
in local
investigative a
history
little
and
bit.
weird
yeah.
shit. Yeah.
And then Pat's character has this thing where like she's just
Extreme.
she's just willing to do whatever the hell, right? Like
She's
like she's,
Yeah.
she's willing to
Like-
just do stupid shit because it's like another challenge for her, kind of, right? But like for my character, it's like
Zari didn't sign up for that shit.
Zarina is interested in like social interaction and like furthering her place in the world, kind of.
No, honestly, I have to ask: is Serena's mind really not more blown by the actual existence of the supernatural?
It
I assume that you
absolutely
knew
is.
you were a fraud.
No, it absolutely is. She's just like tries to hide it really well.
Yeah, I kind of figured that you were gonna break out like episode 1, start bringing a whole new world.
She's trying to play it off as if she knew the whole time about all this.
Like relaxing at the pool while her like mind is exploding inside, and she's like, "Oh my god, wait, have I actually summoned ghosts? What if these things do work?
Yeah.
What if there are real consequences?"
She's like,
I mean,
well, Grifton's gotten me this far.
yeah. I don't know. I honestly felt like I had an off session yesterday too, so yeah.
It's all good gangster.
I definitely wanted to like play that
Oh,
up
and Kat
more.
needs a spiritual item. It feels kind of unfair.
She does. She has a fucking glowing machete.
No,
Oh, that's not spiritual. It's a normal item.
yeah,
It
it's
just
normal.
glows with the fire of her rage.
Oh. don't know, maybe her sunglasses.
Flashy. The question is, sunglasses, jewelry, or shroud?
I mean,
Neither is a
either,
weapon.
depending on how you use them. I'd say for her, probably jewelry because she doesn't hide from shit with them.
Yeah, no,
Neither.
that's
It's a weapon. She fucking takes them and puts them in her hand and punches people with them.
amazing.
If you
I
have
think-
enough rage, everything is a weapon.
With like the plastic ass rim.
Nah, like her looks guilty. Come on.
Oh, true. Welcome to the deli of death, and she is serving looks. But yeah.
Lee, do you keep like an actual like list of like ideas for one shots that you have, or like list of things to pull out?
We started to do that for Wistmore, and we have lots of Wistmore ideas in like the vault, which didn't really get tapped. We sometimes will have a back burner episode for like Change Stars or Alien RPG that's like in mind, but then normally like game day comes up pretty quick, and we're like, oh okay, let's do that. Like
Yeah, like you can't bank it for very long because you have to come up with so much content.
yeah, I mean, I could probably sit down right now and come up with like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's do the.
Well, because I was talking about yesterday, like, because we have this Instant You Go Alone thing. I want a Hunger Game style thing where that's like actual items that are like Flamentio
Yeah, I was
in
thinking,
your game thing.
Yeah, we did something kind of like that with Stars Without Number and Pat once, and it was pretty good. Rainbow
Oh,
like
cool.
bidded Pat some more armor.
and then I woke the thing up on purpose.
Oh yeah.
she was like, she had to go out this door to like fix an array, and there was like a sleeping like alien like just outside of it, and
Oh
like,
no.
and I like paid a bunch of channel points. Or was it bits? I don't remember. I paid some to like wake.
I think it was channel points to like hinder her with the environment, and then bits to help her.
I don't know. Anyways, I remember I used either channel points or bits to like wake the creature up while she was out there. God, that was mean. She got away though. So.
But yeah, that's not a bad idea. The like, because I have been thinking, I was thinking of like a wave defense setup in Change Stars, where you played Alien RPG, but like you were like being a conservationist on a planet, and for some semi-convoluted reasons, you had to like defend an area from the very invasive species,
Oh.
and like people could donate to add more threats, but they could also donate to help out. But yeah, it's like a Hunger Games style thing. Could be pretty good. Probably not like a hostile situation, but you know.
I want Hunger Games like, what's the one race that's really evil? Not evil, but like that like is a news guy that are not in like the Trinity that are like the kind of fucked up ones.
Yeah, New Squai are the, what does Pat call them? The ANCAPs. Like, they're intense individualists who are very into capitalism, mostly.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're not allied with the Trinity, and they consider the Thren kind of like the Borg from their perspective.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna sound like a nerd. What
And
is
the Rast
Borg?
are also from Star Trek. They like they basically assimilate people into their collective consciousness. So it's supposed to be like this very scary thing.
Yes. Okay. Gotcha.
But yeah, you can get a news squad. Basically, you can do anything you want with an individual news squad because they're all different.
I don't know. Can we just have like news guy sponsored like slave ring that has a Hunger Games every once in a while? I don't know.
They do have slavery. Yeah, you could absolutely just drop people into a news squad gladiatorial ring. They've got slavery. They've got human zoos, probably like a lot of shit in news squad space.
Stargard.
Nobody knows about.
I was thinking I might do like a not quite Hunger Games style, but like a gladiatorial type ring thing in the game IDM, because like I don't know, the whole like underground boxing ring kind of thing fits with the time, I think. No, like 1920s time, and like it just sounds like an interesting session. Like, yeah, I don't know. Like it fits the setting, and it just sounds like an interest, like an interesting encounter. But I hadn't thought a lot about it. But yeah. I don't know,
Yeah,
it
so
could
this is
be a
your
good thing.
1920s kind of dark fantasy industrialism campaign.
Wow, what a great way to phrase it. Yeah, basically, like, so, like, very short explanation of the plot. Basically, there's a group of humans and elves that kind of banded together and assimilated the entire continent, basically, where they just made all the other races like second class, basically.
Ouch.
Think about it as like. No, that's not a good way to say it. Lee always says, "Oh, it's like was it you, Lee, or somebody else was saying like, oh, it's like like kind of like if Nazis won the war, but not really. It's not quite that awful,
Hmm.
but like yeah, and so the players basically play like a party of from that's like a part of the rebellion, basically. There's like secret rebellion, obviously, because they're not trying to get known.
Yeah, I'm like the resistance jazz
yeah.
band.
Basically, yeah. And they're currently like trying to sort of take out this very wealthy like company owner who has a lot of information on them. Basically, that's like without I'm trying to be really vague and not like explain like 10 minutes of plot, but like
Yeah.
so the way I was thinking I might go with it next is like yeah, do some sort of like they get caught and then like gladiatorial ring thing into their escape kind of thing. But I
Oh.
don't know. It's
So like they would legitimately get to leave if they fought their way out, or do they just have to escape
No,
using the, like,
I would just
territory of the gladiatorial ring?
I would give them escape options.
Yeah.
Or I would just like force it with the plot. Like I don't know. It was just an idea I had like just offhand because I knew I wanted to include like a gladiatorial thing like for sure. Like just like no matter what, that was something I wanted to do at one point, so it felt like it would make sense now, but yeah. Sorry, we could not talk about my game. We could talk about your stuff, Lee. I'm sorry.
I mean, hey, we're here on the designer liner. We're just enjoying a nice virgin daiquiri and, you know, sailing the seas because Rainbow doesn't drink.
Hmm.
No, but yeah. I think the idea of that, like, as a one-shot is really cool. Like, a whole session, just, like, Hunger Game style, then a gladiatorial ring, like, you know. But yeah, it would be kind of hard in current Change Stars to motivate it, for sure.
What, like a gladiatorial setup?
Yeah.
I mean, you can just put it in Newsguy space.
Yeah.
Although there is a risk in some settings of making a catch-all villain. I'm not saying the Newsguy are that. It's also because they're not always the villains. But like, there is
Well, I
definitely.
mean, you
a way
say
to
that,
find
but
it.
we've never seen a good news guy.
We've also never seen a bad Thren, by the way.
That's
So-
actually.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think back to games that I've done. Yeah, no, I don't think you have because there's something that I'm working on that involves some very bad Thren. But yeah.
Yeah.
But-
Oh wait, no, I have seen. Well, I guess, but it was a Thrin who was colluding with human separatists because of, I mean, Lost, I guess. So I feel like that was just like
Oh yeah, that one.
Pat
character
playing a
that
Pat
Pat
character
played.
more than a Thrin individual,
Dang.
choosing to do that consciously.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. There's always room to show more variety. But yeah, so like Hungry Ghost idea. But yeah, that's so like. But I wanted to do that. I want to do a stream integrated where like the viewers can give stuff to that's like very concrete or like understood. Like I do see some like people who have like generic like bit menus. I bestow a flashlight with a red lens that only works 2% of the time. Oh, hey, Lurb. Those were some things. I was trying to find the one from that game that we
Well,
didn't
yeah.
have,
See,
but...
that's kind of the problem, though, Lib, is that they are kind of like currently set up as like the good guys, which is like, kind of boring writing sometimes. Like,
But I think it was important to establish that they weren't just the good guys to immediately get pulled out from under them. Like, they actually are pretty good. Like, the Trinity works mostly. It's not perfect, but it's not like just waiting to fall apart at the tap of,
Yeah.
like Shattered Illusion. Which is nice, because I mean, there's just so many very cynical space settings, and I love many of them. I am also very cynical, but for once, it's nice to be like, maybe things can be fixed. Maybe, like, you don't just blow up the entire galaxy.
Yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, so here's the question. How do we implement a good bit? Because, like, the way that I had it gamed out, right, was that you'd be able to donate to add to the waves of attack, which is fine because, enemy, it's Schrodinger's enemy, right? In the vast majority of tabletop RPGs, you don't know exactly how many enemies you're going to come up against. So it's not hard to add new elements to a wave.
Mm-hmm.
But then, like, you could have, like, orbital drops of, like, unexpected resources or salvage or whatever for, like, extra turrets and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The problem is that playing,
Yeah, I mean, you can. I guess my point of the idea wasn't so much like, I mean, I think the audience incorporation is interesting, but I want it to be a thing where it reflects something in the real world. Like, think about the Hunger Games is that real suppliers are buying the shit that they can send. So, like, I think it could still maybe work with your thing, but like, at least in my concept, you need a reason why the waves of enemies were getting greater that was reflected in world, as opposed to just, like, minor gods that shake their rain sticks and shit happens.
Indeed.
God,
But I think it'll just be two separate ideas.
Personally,
And it's also like with the waves, like, so are they different? Is there anything interesting about containing them? I'm not a fan of boring combat.
Yeah, one thing I was thinking about is, like, I did come up with this before Alien Summer started, and then I actually ran a lot of games in Alien RPG, and none of my experience with Alien RPG has made me think wave-based defense would make sense.
No, not in this system, no. Definitely not.
But yeah, so an Alien RPG.
I mean, I guess you could flip that idea on its head and be like, you're people who are protecting an indigenous species or, some sort of vulnerable species, and then, some pissed off news going to dump you inside that habitat and you have to survive them without harming the species according to your principles. But I mean, there's no reason it couldn't be a quite dangerous species.
I mean, I also like an idea of, like, let's say you're researchers on a planet that's, like, not populated, and for whatever reason, like, you can't communicate with your ship or something like that, and, like, waves start attacking you and you gotta wait a few days to be able for the rescue to come or something like that, that sort of thing.
Mm.
And so then you have, like, a wave system kind of like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I don't know, yeah, like, the enemies can only move at night or something. Yeah, it's a little cliche, but...
Yeah, there's definitely possibilities, but the question is, like, yeah, how do we, like, give a strong theming for why the money is coming in when it is?
Well, so what did you want it to do? You wanted it to make the enemy stronger?
I wanted there to be two options. And, like... So, basically, you could use channel points to do, like, minor stuff, which is mostly, like, help fix things or, like, cause more things to break, basically. Mm-hmm. And then, so that the channel point, and for, like, money, you could either send, like, extra turrets or reinforcements of some sort down to the planet, which could be explained as, like, a faction or someone, like, sending stuff to help you.
For bits, yeah.
Yeah, for
well,
bits.
Like, maybe it's not...
And then you could also, if you wanted to, add enemies to the coming wave.
I see. Well, so, like I said, maybe it's not that you can't communicate, but, like, there's a weather problem that prevents the the allied like orbiting ship from coming to rescue you, and you have to like hold out for 5 days or something, right? Well,
Sure.
weather before
Oh.
till the weather passes, and then so like they can send you down equipment. They just can't send like a manned vessel through the storm or something like that.
Indeed. All the question then becomes if so like if the design objective here is like in character representation of donors and impact as close to 1-to-1 as feasible, like why like a viewer deciding to spend bits or channel points to make something happen doesn't really feel like the same tenor as spaceship captain deciding that they should send down reinforcements at this
Yeah,
Yeah, I think you just need a different idea for the concept. Like, this would just be something else.
yeah.
But it does remind me a bit of the My Lady Saito Shatterdome thing, where people paid to either, like, spin, there's, like, a Wheel of Minor Aid, and then there's, like, a Wheel of Monster Fuckery.
I'm sure Pat would love a Wheel of Monster Fuckers.
Ha ha ha. Hardy har 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 har.
Rainbow's like, wow, you're so funny.
Both of you are both use default like position is just horny on main. The two of you.
What? Lies.
Anyways,
Does
Spot
Twitch support
polls?
spot polls? There are ways to get good chat polls going, and straw
Yeah.
polls possible.
no,
So-
I mean I know there's add-ons or something to Slabs that definitely let you like
Yeah,
have a chat poll that like reads chat and will like
yeah, that could be definitely worthwhile. Lurb, do you think it could be worthwhile to do? This is the idea zone right now. All right, idea zones. Concept one, waves. Concept 2, hungry hippo games.
Hungry Hippo game. I got it. Okay.
Like the Hunger Games.
Yes, I understood. I translated from.
I don't know. I was
English.
just thinking about how deadly hippos are, I'm gonna be honest. That distracted me.
Yo, they are low key. They are killers, though.
True.
A poll mechanic
Yeah.
might.
I
be
mean, I haven't read it,
interesting.
but there's a. What?
Lurb
A
is suggesting a poll mechanic, which I think is its own concept because I think for any like
Yeah.
big new aspect that we want to add, I do want to try and take it like a concept at a time. So
Yeah, or
I
you
mean-
don't know what works and what doesn't.
Like the Freitag polls was interesting.
yeah, although that was asynchronous, where it was done like over the course of a week versus the games, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yo, Pat.
Yo,
Hi, Pat.
Hey.
hey, I made it. So we live?
Correct.
Yeah.
Nice. Check it out.
Oh, another
Yes.
haircut. Pug.
Amazing, hold on.
Yeah, you know, sometimes I
oh,
like to get more than one haircut in my life.
Oh, that ain't me. That ain't Lee.
Mm.
I ain't no Pat. No.
Oh, don't worry. I'll get you a nice, cute little haircut.
Bruh.
Rainbow, I love the bro. That's your
I
thing
love
now.
how I love how I love how I literally stated like 10 seconds ago, like, God, like both of your like both of your constant states is just horny on me, and then Pat's like, "Hey guys, what's up? Anyways, I'm horny."
What? She said she said a haircut.
Yeah, and then she started like making fun of you. I was like, anyways.
Yeah, it's okay. Concept review.
I'm not making fun. I'm embracing.
Yes.
So, Pat, we're talking about cool concepts for Alien one-shots and other games, and we're talking about Madeline has voiced the suggestion of a hungry hippo game style scenario.
Oh.
Where, like, every
God.
time someone gives bits, like, remember when we did the thing and, like, Rainbow sent the bits to have a little, like, drop pod arrive with your suit of armor?
Mhm.
that sort of a thing. The Hungry Hungry Hippo games, the
Mm.
Waves. Waves is another concept that I had.
Hunger
before.
Games is what he was saying. He had to translate the Lee.
And then
Oh,
concept
I see.
3 here, brought up by our good friend Lerb, is that Lerb. So one issue is our viewer count. I will say that our viewer count does make adding a roll and waiting a week for votes to roll in a little more effective for us. But if we could guarantee a certain degree of participation, or it was something that made sense to have small vote amounts, it could be.
I also know there's quite a few people who just like chill and listen to the stream,
Mm-hmm.
who might not participate in the poll
Mm,
if it was like a chat thing.
for
Yeah.
sure, but they might if it was like a Discord thing.
Yeah.
People are pretty active on Discord.
Yeah, poll is definitely.
Yeah.
I do want like to be able to do a poll, but that's like in game. But yeah,
I mean, I even know like I used to watch this series on YouTube. But it was like a Twitch VOD thing that they would put on YouTube, and it's not exactly tabletop games, but basically, there was this coach. He coached like a professional Overwatch team, right? And he would review people's clips, like from his Discord and stuff, like his viewers and stuff. He would review their clips, and then they would try to guess. Him and the chat would try to guess what rank the player was.
Oh.
And so he used a poll system for that. And even though he streamed to like 20K plus people regularly, the poll would get like maybe 1,000 or 2,000 votes. So it's like definitely like not like like a lot of people don't give a shit.
yeah, no, there's definitely gonna be a limited percentage of voters because this is America. Huh. But
Well, and people aren't watching in the same way. They might be doing
Yeah.
something else
Yeah.
and not have time to track the chat.
yeah, I don't think that I might not have voted in a poll if like the chain in the background or whatever had one while I was listening in the background and doing something else.
I know a lot of people like watch like video game streams. They'll watch the stream while playing the game at the same time.
What? What?
Yeah.
What?
I just play the game. Like, do you really do the duplication of experience?
I literally will watch.
Zoomer man.
I have friends who will watch pro games while they're playing a game.
Is it like to hype them up or something?
No,
How do we market this?
they just wanna. It's like cooking dinner while you watch the football game. You know?
Oh,
no,
right.
it's like playing football while you watch the
No.
football game.
It's like watching porn while you're having sex. Some people do it. Doesn't make sense, but they do.
My point always stands. Everything passes.
we always stand. That's correct.
I don't personally watch porn. I
Uh-huh.
live it.
Often draw while just listening because yeah, no,
I read
that's
Yeah.
that's not un.
I object to it being the same activity, which, I mean, even drawing and watching a stream about drawing is different to me from the experience of a video game. Like,
Why?
is it
People
supposed to immerse you? Isn't that the point of playing?
Not
No, people
necessarily.
play like Overwatch, and they're just playing like a game like either competitively or just like because they want to just frag in Overwatch,
Yeah,
and then they want to watch the game. Like a lot of people, I know I get this sometimes. If I'm playing a video game, and like I stop to do something, I want to move my fingers, you know, like like I'm like still kind of like active. I want to do something.
Mm.
I'm very like ADHD like that, where I can't not be doing anything and just watch something. But yeah,
Yeah.
it's the same reason people like to like watch something while they eat or something, you know, like I don't know.
I do watch things while I eat. I'm guilty.
Yeah, like I don't know. No, but I can't say I've watched a pro game because when I watch the pro games, I like to like really pay attention. But I've definitely like watched a stream while playing a game before. And you know, you're not paying like 100% attention, right? But like, I don't know, playing Overwatch and you die, right? It's gonna be like 30 seconds until you get back in the fight, right? Because you have to like wait for your respawn timer, and then walk all the way back to the fight, right? So like that's 30 seconds that you can just hold W and look at your other monitor and watch the game, like watch the streamer you're watching or something, right? I also know a lot of people. God, this is gonna sound so cocky, okay? don't flame me for this, right? But I know a lot of people who are bad at games like watching streamers because they're good at games, so like like they're bad at games, but then they watch a streamer who's good at a game. They're like, oh, I want to play because like I want to have that experience.
Yo, that's actually kind of true because sometimes I watch in-case stream while I'm drawing.
Like, no, Pat, that's not what I meant. Like
yeah, I mean,
people will like
very
they watch a player who's really good at a video game. They're like, wow, that's so cool. Like, it looks so much fun to be good at the video game. And then they want to go play the video game, and then they're like, oh, I'm not good at the video game. Instead of trying to work at getting better at the video game, I'll just go watch the guy who's good at the video game. And so like, but it makes you want to play, right?
Yeah, I know. That's the feeling I get. Like, that's the reason I don't normally watch tabletop RPGs. Because I'm like, sure, this
You
is
wanna
cool,
play,
but
right?
it would be better
Yeah.
if I were playing it. I want to make the decisions.
But like with like competitive video games, right? Like sometimes you can't really get as much enjoyment if you're bad at it.
Oh, I know. I'm terrible at video games. I would love to play many of them, not even competitively, just like normal story games. But I get lost. I get dead. Like, bad things happen. I can't play a game that requires real skill.
That's why I don't play video games.
See, here's the thing. I'm what some might call a gamer, so I cannot associate with. I cannot relate to you guys. But yeah.
Yeah, like my brother made me play The Last of Us, and it was beautiful and haunting, but I just got stuck at this part where like the zombies attack you, and I didn't have enough bullets, and then like my shiv was gone, and I like had a zombie rip out my neck like 5 times, and I'm like, okay, I'm done now. Like,
No, but
this is not working.
This is why game balance is such a thing too, because like there's such a disconnect between people who are really good at your video game and people who are really bad at your video game, and it's like like this. I know it's like this sounds so pretentious.
This is why
everything
like
I'm saying.
easy and hard settings were invented.
Yeah, but like like when I play League, I'm like, yes, please fucking nerf Akali. It's the worst character in the world. Like, she's actually just busted because I'm playing against players who like abuse the shit out of her. But like when you're like bronze and like people don't even know how to press the buttons, that it's like, oh well. Clearly, she's like balanced down there. Anyways, let's not talk about game balance. Let's go back to talking about tabletop.
Amazing. What
Let's talk
happened?
about tabletop game balance.
We were talking about the stream thing, like players watching streams while they play games, right? And I was saying that the reason a lot of people do that is because they watch like a streamer who's really good at the game, and it makes them want to play the game. But then they start playing the game and they realize they're not very good at the game.
Also, Pat, you know you're muted in the Hangouts, right?
Yeah, she was doing something.
Oh, okay.
I was eating.
And like, yeah, so then they realize like, oh, I'm not actually that good at the game, and then so they want to do like both at the same time, basically. So they get the experience of playing the game, but they're like also watching somebody be really good at the game at the same time, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was saying that like I don't experience that because I'm a gamer, but
Oh wow, gaming.
I
Queen.
kid. No,
you
like I just like. And then we started talking about game. Anyways, let's move on.
I mean, you're such a gamer. You've unlocked achievements in real life.
Hello.
Ooh la la.
No, I feel hella pretentious, but like when I say that, but like I do think that's what a lot of like people like to watch streams while doing other things. Is the point I'm making?
Yeah, no, I do too.
I know for sure.
Oh, wait, wow, we're still talking about that, aren't we? Huh? It's
Yes,
been like
correct.
half an hour, but we just came back to the point.
Oh God, is it a podcast?
Okay,
Everyone, what are we drinking? No, but yeah.
I'm drinking Truly. And also, I have
Going
vodka
back
and rum
to-
over here and Arizona tea that I'm going to miss with vodka. I'm at the last.
But as-
release.
Oh no, what will you do with that, whatever kind of alcohol that is?
Buy more tomorrow.
Buy more.
I mean,
another
I've only
another
gone
reason
through-
they do.
I've
Sorry,
only
go
gone through like 3 boxes this week.
No, you're
Another
right,
reason-
Rainbow. Alcohol is expensive.
It's so
and-
expensive. It's
What
not
I
worth
spend
it.
all my money on.
Yeah, I
Y'all
don't
ever
really drink
y'all
much
ever
either.
just-
RPG is sacred. I must maintain my full faculties.
Y'all ever just drink water and then have free money? Hello?
Not really.
Well,
'cause
then I
buy
spend all the
bubble
money
wrap.
on books.
Yeah, Pug.
I haven't read a book in years.
Imagine spending your money on things that you could
Wait,
get for free.
seriously?
No, not seriously.
This meme made by
I read
H2O
a big
Gang.
book. I read a big book in years.
Right, Also,
It's
like
weird. I'm reading North and South right now for some reason, and I can see where it's basically like Pride and Prejudice, but sad and about labor rights. Why?
I literally like. The other thing is I'm annoying as fuck already. So imagine if I was drunk,
Oh.
like
It,
I'd probably be like a pain in the
it
ass.
depends, honestly. Like some people, when they get drunk, they just sort of like mellow out.
Yeah, that's probably what would happen to me. I think when I was tipsy, I was mellower.
Like, maybe I'll be more bearable when I'm drunk. Who knows?
Y'all a bunch of teetotalers. Damn.
I consumed your beverages.
I have provided you beverages to consume,
Oh. Well. Glug, glug, glug,
and
glug,
you
glug.
did consume it.
Slurping sounds.
Anyway,
So yeah, viewer polls. Here's a question: theoretically, if numbers were not an issue and viewer participation was high, what's like a good decisive thing in a one-shot context to have the viewers vote on that could swing the discussion in a good direction without like?
here's the thing.
Yes.
I think it's a pain for you, but I think having two options feels kind of bad. And if you're doing a poll, having like one or the other,
This one or that one or this one or that one.
like I don't know. It could kind of be about anything. Like I don't know. Let's say we're talking. Like let's say we're talking Fallout, right?
Oh wait, secret traitor who doesn't know that they're a traitor, whether or not they activate.
Oh,
Oh,
God,
man.
House on the Hill. You vote for which party member was the traitor all along,
Yeah.
and then the chat is retroactively right. Or what if?
Lee, that's
what if?
basically
no, wait,
what happened in
what
that
if the
one
chat-
King of Stars episode.
What if the chat has to guess which party member really is the traitor?
That sounds more fun to me. Like
What if it's
Clue,
Mafia?
Ooh,
but it's the other. Like the chat has to get.
yeah, it's like
None of the players
Resistance,
know.
where they're like, "Why is this mission fucking up? Can we find the mole before it's too late?"
Oh, and you know
Oh
what?
wait, that's so cool.
You know games like Mafia or something like, or like that
I
game
play
that's really
Mafia.
popular right
I'm in
now.
Mafia game right now.
You know that game that's really popular, Among Us right now. It's like- Anyways, it's not
Wait,
important.
is Among Us
Basically,
the name of the game?
yeah, there's a game called Among Us. Yeah. And
Okay.
basically, but it's like there's those social deception games where like two people are like the traitors or mafia or whatever, right? And they have to kill all the innocents, and the innocents have to figure out who they are or like complete a task, basically, right?
Holy shit! What if we played Mafia on stream?
That's what I'm saying. But here's the thing, right? The players. So like, what happens in Among Us, right? Like for example, right? Is you go around and then like. The innocents try to do their tasks and stuff, and the killers try to kill without being found out. But like, if an innocent comes across a body, it starts like a voting phase, right? And the players aren't normally allowed to talk to each other. Obviously, you would be able to talk to each other, but like, if the voting phase, like if you find a body, the voting phase comes up and it's like everybody discussed like, oh, well, I think, well, this person was here, and then people started like accusing each other and talking and stuff, right? And then the group as a whole who's playing the game is like, okay, like everybody votes, and if somebody gets voted off, they get killed, and it tells you if they were the imposter or not, right?
Mhm.
And so, what if you had that, but the chat is the only ones who get the vote?
Yeah. Oh, the question is, how do we run whoever the traitor is doing traitor things on stream in front of chat, where the chat can see my window, right?
We
And
just don't. True.
I mean, you probably have to do like the roll 20. Oh wait, your secret messages would of course show up on your roll 20 because you'd be the GM.
You'd have to have somebody else.
Yeah,
You'd have to have a second person.
It'd have to be a player perspective. So
Yeah,
someone
for
else would have
sure.
to be the DM and be handling.
Well, this is why I was suggesting Remember I suggested a long time ago that you do like a second person who like is just a spectator. Of course, you'd have to get somebody to do that, but like somebody who just has vision from, let's say, all like maybe not all the player tokens, but
like a cameraman.
yeah, like an observer, you know.
Yeah, a peeping tom, if you will.
Hey, that's a role in Mafia.
Dude.
Like
It's not quite. I love Mafia though. Holy fuck. Have I mentioned that yet? It was my first love before I found real RPGs.
I mean, Mafia games are really fun. We used to play a lot of Avalon, the Arthurian pretty version of Resistance, and Two Rooms in a Boom
Oh my
back in
God.
undergrad.
Do you remember when like you were Merlin the first 10 fucking times in the row of that game?
That was amazing.
You could have just guessed you were Merlin every time and been fucking right.
Well, I mean, yeah, like probability-wise, you'd never think that would happen, which was good because I have like no poker face. I guess I'm bad at it. So like later we had a thing where one time there were 3 spies, and we all passed stuff because we were worried that there'd be too many failures. So then after that, I was like, look, guys, if I'm a spy and we communicate, I'll put in the fail. But then everyone just suspected me of being a spy all the time because I have a shady face.
Amazing.
I look smirky when I'm evil.
Oh no.
I'm
Not a great
insane.
quality in a traitor.
The smirk of evil. Oh gosh.
I look smirky all the time though, in fairness. So like my poker face is
The,
reversed.
the sign of a true queen is being a villainess from that one anime, Sailor Moon. Yes. Oh. You also need though like a feather boa or and a cat and like a very
Wait, what?
like all on guard for the time dress to like really complete the look.
Oh.
Yeah. No, you gotta be like.
No.
We just get to practice our
First of all,
fancy
Pat.
laughter.
First of all, Pat, you can't look directly at somebody while doing it. You have to be looking over your shoulder at them. You can look at them, but you have to be looking over
Alright.
your shoulder at them.
Here's the real question, gang stars. What do you think the minimum number of mechanics would be to create a satisfying Sailor Moon RPG?
Oh my god.
What?
Haven't even seen the show.
I've never actually
I watched
seen
it
the
when I was
show.
like a child. All I know is that like they transform
Of course
and
you
fight
did.
evil.
This- Oh my god.
Don't spoil it for me, because I do intend to fulfill my, destiny as a member of a certain community and actually eventually fucking watch it.
Meaning love.
A certain community? Oh, you mean tabletop role-playing game designers?
I'm a real fan.
Yeah, that one.
It's
and
the
no
one
other.
named Sailor Moon.
A certain community? You mean enthusiasts of animated shows?
Fuck you.
A certain community? You mean 2D artists?
Yes, actually, that is the one I was talking about. Congratulations. You won the golden Cupid doll.
A certain community? You mean alcoholics?
Yes. Stop.
A certain... We need an exclamation mark, a certain community command at this point that just throws up a random guess.
You know what? I was gonna do High Roads Pixar tonight. Now I'm not. Thanks, bitch.
No. F's in chat.
Has in chat. I was gonna do stickers for us, but you ruined it. I'm just kidding. I was gonna do that today. If we are hurting for topics to discuss, how would you guys think a Ren wedding would go? I'm already pretty sure it's gonna be a massive affair. I'm thinking
Pat, you know what we were talking about, by the way, before you got here? We were talking about the fact that we haven't really seen any like evil Thren in Change Stars.
Right. There were those PETA guys from the two-parter.
Oh shit, you're right. They released the Rasty and Sea Dragon. I mean, I guess they didn't conceive of themselves as evil, but like lots of villains don't.
I don't know. I don't know.
The very first change stars anything. And the second time I ran it, this stayed true. There was a crazy Thren working for female
I
Hitler.
mentioned the Thren, who was actually really like a Pwazi now that I like read that comic, in the sense that it's a Thren who has it bad for human pheromones.
I don't.
and makes
I
unwise
literally.
decisions
I literally
because of
don't.
it.
I don't
I
think I've seen.
consider
I don't think I've
Turbo
seen
like a hard
either
type.
of these games.
Wait, were you
I
not
can't
in
find
the C one? I
No.
feel like
No, you weren't, were you? Huh. I thought you. Wait, no, it was Shin, Madeline, Lee, and Max, of course, and James.
yeah, James was a Newsfly teenager,
It made
Wow.
so much sense.
horrifying on both levels.
Correct. All three parts of those things are terrifying. Newsguy, Newsguy teenager, and James playing that
James.
character. All of those things are terrifying.
James is a Newsfly teenager.
Correct.
I mean, so Newsby teenagers are probably around the same age as adults because Newsby live fucking forever if they make it past infancy, which most don't.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, wait, you know what I'm actually gonna do right now? It has nothing to do with anything even remotely productive, but I had this crazy idea while I was on my bike ride. What if I drew a map of like a couple alternate futures of the Chain Stories universe, like 5,000 years in the future?
But why though?
Because I'm insane.
Literally, did you see Lee's tweet earlier?
What did we do?
Lee tweeted earlier today. You can tell if you want to leave, but
Which one?
the one you tweeted at somebody was like talking about like, well, I'm gonna find it now because I can't remember the exact conversation.
That's the Change
But-
Stars
oh,
future,
yeah,
or
yeah.
a potential one?
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody tweeted me this morning. I'll just do a tiny bit of research for my book, then blast through this chapter. Me 6 hours later. I have written 17 words today, but look at this article from 1863 on a completely useless detail tangentially related to the topic. And then Lee replied, TFW had to go invent a religion in numbers 1 through 12 before I could get one guy's name written down.
Oh wait, yeah, fuck, Lee did that. For
That's
the
such a good tweet. I feel like
Oh,
I
yeah,
feel
I
like
need
I
to
thought
read
it was
that
way.
stuff.
I feel like I thought it was way funnier because I knew exactly what you were talking about. But
for everybody not in the know, everything in the Change universe, Change Stars universe is mine except for the cache. Well, I guess technically the runner. Design-wise,
I also
copy.
love the fact that like it doesn't matter how many times you tell her that they're called the cat. She calls them the cash. I think it's like her subconscious way of getting back at me for being wrong. But also, this is my pure joy to be able to be like, no, just you are wrong about the word.
Oh, that's good. I need you to know, because you're going to meet the Kev at some point in my campaign, since they're
Yes.
nothing in particular. Never mind, spoilers, but
Uh-huh.
Ah,
you know
yes.
things about them.
What do you
Yeah,
see?
well, so Lee in a developmental fury decided to like flesh out the cache more than any the cat more than any like other non-Trinity species has been fleshed out, including throwing in parts of languages for the fucking lulz, and I love it. Absolutely love to see this world building. We love to see it, folks.
Yeah,
As we
and they have a base 12 math system, so I came up with them. And here you can see my very dirty, like, fake it till you make it. And you can really, like, see a true conlang in what Pat does versus, like, faking it like I do. I think the most dedicated thing I ever did was once for a game called Settlement that only Madeline will know about. Oh, hey, Max. Talking about Settlement, I literally just found some, like, students' conlang and just straight cribbed it. And every time I named something in that language, I was using an incredibly obscure conlang that you need to, like, track down someone's thesis PDF to know. And I was like, you know what? Done and done. But then normally what I do is I'll like try and remix or change without any rhyme or reason to the actual logic of the language, one or more different real-world languages. In the case of the cat.
Frozen Creed.
But normally I go a little more obscure. So here we have the Mixtec and the Congo. like a Congolese dialect of Bantu tongue. But yeah, so
Okay, so if the Keth is not a species, then like what is the thing that's pictured under Keth? Because it's not any of the species we already know.
so that is so like
that is-
to the vast majority of people, they would just call that a Keth. Like the whole like the Keth no longer identify with any scientific name for their biological species, and there's nobody who isn't that species that is known to be a Keth. But yeah, so like
Well, okay, so wait, is there anyone who's not of that biological species who is a Keth?
Yes.
The fuck is a
There are
cat?
some. There are some.
Hi, man.
There are some bees cats. In fact, the bees. One thing that we're going to learn about when we learn more about the bees, because I haven't developed them basically at all, is that one of their early developments in space technology is basically they found Kethko ruins and were like, oh, hey, this works.
yeah,
Cool.
technically speaking, the Kethko are like the forebears of the Keth. I imagine they got named that like retroactively or something, or like it was just like a kind of name. But yes, like obviously I need to actually come up with what
Kethko colony
the
is
name of the
pre-Keth.
species is, but there aren't any known like members of that species who aren't members of also the Keth. It was a collective decision by the species to like undergo this religious transition to avoid a calamity and also to prevent anyone else from invoking that same galactic calamity ever. And from the Keth's perspective, the only way to do that is to ensure that they manipulate probability such that events shake out their way, aka the way that doesn't result in anybody else coming to make the same decision, because they don't think that any other species would be willing or able to make the right choice like they did.
God.
Interesting.
They're like
What
space.
the fuck is this all about? I came in here because I have a fancy blue drink that I wanted to show
Oh,
off.
oh,
and suddenly
oh.
we're talking about freaking
Oh,
galactic morality.
Hold on, show the chat, show the chat.
It is an electric Leninade named after, I assume, Lenin, the communist.
Amazing.
It is delicious.
Tell me,
Communist juice.
does it taste like communism?
It tastes mostly like 7-Up. That being said, I have had a few drinks before this, so maybe my taste isn't working that great.
King
Wait,
shit.
if I may,
Communist juice.
I'm
I
consuming
mean, it has
very
7-Up in it,
special
so
Oh,
beverage
okay.
as
tasting like
well.
7-Up.
Oh
is
yes,
exactly
Pat.
same.
This is the tell us what you're drinking hour of the podcast.
Jesus.
What's in it? What's in it?
This is let's just say let's call this a
Pat's trying to think of a real good name for it. Oh boy.
Carolina Sunrise.
It's an actual drink.
It's a mix between iced tea, peach flavored, and a vodka. It's good, or like drinkable.
You already know what we drinking. Ah, shit. Hydro homies roll up.
I mean, I would go a peach vodka would be like
Straight water today.
I would call it the invasion of Georgia.
That sounds great, actually.
God, y'all ready for some ASMR?
I really want a beverage that like has a salted like rim, but it's a salted base, and it's got like a red flare to it, and you call it like Sherman's March to the Sea.
Okay, we need to as a stream come up with a cocktail recipe book of recipes named exclusively after wartime atrocities.
That was some Hydro homie ASMR.
The sound of water pouring.
Consider we make a diesel shot,
Like
cocktail menu / drink recipe book.
and people can pay bits to make you guys drink one.
Wait, I love that actually. That's better than my idea. Erase what I was about to say. What Rambo said. Yes. I was just going to
100
say we name it after things that happen in the screen, but that's much smarter. Let's get drunk.
100K bits.
Yeah,
to
but what
make
if
me
people
take my
don't pay
first
for it, then
drink.
you wouldn't be allowed to drink, or it would have no meaning?
That makes me sad.
No, you just drink like you just drink like regular ass drinks, like,
Mm.
I guess that's true.
and then like the fancy shit that was like Change Stars themed and like Frozen Creek themed and stuff.
Cheap rosé. Ooh, blue absinthe. Is that a thing?
Madeline, do you appreciate?
No, but the blue cacao is, and it's a liqueur which is so intensely blue. This it was a full glass, and it had about a half ounce of blue cacao in it. The rest of the ingredients were other colors.
Yeah,
and the whole thing is dyed
Fun
blue.
fact: they also have like a green version. I used to like mix it with my pre-gag drink back when we were still doing the diesel shot.
Oh,
I feel like if you want to go for a green liqueur, there's better options.
Yeah, there is. There's that one melon.
Yeah.
There's a cocktail book I've been getting really into recently. It's just like 1,000 recipes in it, and one of them's called the Rainbow, and it's a layered shot. Well, not a layered
Rainbow?
shot, actually, a layered drink. And it's literally
Oh.
like 12 different alcohols selected based on their color.
Jesus.
Probably
Probably
that
tastes
you
like
layer in the order of the rainbow.
it probably tastes like tastes
Actually,
like being
looking
drunk.
through them and having done some googling on the various components, it's gonna be very sweet. But yeah, not necessarily that great outside
Tastes
of
like
its
a
presentation.
hangover.
But from what I understand, the type of cocktail it is are better known for being a thing bartenders can do to show off how good they are at bartending, more than something you
Oh.
actually drink. Because
I see.
layering something that many times, incredibly difficult. I've done some layering in my day, and like I did like 3 layers on a thing, and even then it was still pretty tricky.
By the way, the 3 futures I'm going to throw out right now are expanded stars, fractured stars, and feudal stars.
Ooh.
No. Wait, is feudal stars
Wait,
where humans
futile
live?
or feudal?
Feudal.
Yeah. Can we get like
Go ahead and guess.
anarchy stars or something where like the humans like reform their empire and
What? No, that's terrible.
yeah
That's
So
not
that might be
anarchy,
one
that's
of
like
them.
fascism stars.
yeah, the bad end. Come on. It's,
Well, that might be feudal stars.
That's
All
the-
of these are
the bad
technically
ending.
bad ends, but for different reasons. And actually, one of them's kind of.
I mean,
expanded stars just sounds like everybody like ascended and their brains like became expanded.
Expanded stars sounds like a fan expansion of Stars Without Number. Or like expanded stars. We added more items.
Hmm.
The 4 marks that I will be using in this map are Rask Prime, Earth, Mrod, and the Mirai.
I mean, it sounds like you're talking about how you're, like, and this is our ingredient, Buka. But yeah, as you can see, whereas the Threaten have like a cohesive like thing behind them, I'm just like, hey, here's a little Mixtec, here's a little Congo, get on with it. And you can see this in like the names, such as Ymir Satome, Kandanuha, Nuhu, Ymir the Wooden Divided Inheritance, or Dakaji Tizo Kadzizi Chel, Dakaji the Heart of the Square-Rooted Moon.
Cool.
And yeah, but that's I was literally like I was gonna write something for Chain Stars, but I was like, wait, there's gonna be a Keth in this. What are Keth names like?
Okay, what the fuck is a Keth? Can we just get like a 20-second rundown? Because I came in here in the middle of a Keth discussion.
All
Ooh,
right.
can I go first and then you fix it?
Yes.
Okay. Long time ago, there was an empire called the Kethko. They were super decadent, and then, for obvious reasons, they broke up. And for a while, like maybe a couple thousand, honestly, maybe a couple 100,000 years, there were isolated planets populated by the original Kethko. These isolated planets saw independent evolution of all of these species that were isolated from each other, to the point that the Kethko no longer existed, and there were a number of inheritor species that looked very similar and behaved differently and developed different cultures.
Wait, can they
And-
still interbreed? Because a species
No.
is basically
No,
defined
they
by not being able to interbreed.
They cannot interbreed. That's why they are not considered a species.
But
Okay.
lions and tigers can interbreed.
Okay, yes, I mean, some species can, but then they produce, like, sterile offspring, or they have other genetic problems. Like, yes, a horse and a mule... No, sorry, a horse and a donkey can breed a mule, but
Mhm.
they're
That is-
no longer
that is-
quite the same species.
That is a very important and perhaps the only thing that I've introduced to the Keth Now we can take it from here.
Yeah.
They're literally the character customization class. I like race. I like it.
Yeah.
I can dig it.
I didn't come up with any of that. These were made for that game we never wound up playing. That was going to be Stars Without Number. And the cats were the species that I added that was going to be powerful psychics, except psychic powers don't exist
Oh,
in
that
Stars. So
Yes.
they are very good at math, and they are very right about things, including math, and they are very just inherently smug about this fact. But you wouldn't know it because they mostly don't interact with other people outside of spies and feint manipulations. They're the sort of like, they're playing 12D chess all the time, so they're not like a heavy-handed presence in the galaxy.
But they are. They're just, you don't know it.
Yeah, they're not heavy-handed though. There's like their influence is not felt directly. And
What's
if
the
it
point?
is, then they probably their point is that they don't want to take the heat. They just want to they don't see any utility. Like
Yeah, that's why you're manipulative, but you still get
Yeah.
shit done.
yeah. So like
They don't want to take the heat, but they will eat the meat if you catch my drift.
Yeah, and also it's like they calculated that the human empire was going to lose the war or and crumble under its own weight. Ergo, they saw no reason to spend any resources to do anything about that situation. Or they might have, but like they weren't really like busting their balls to make that happen.
Well, so does that mean that they didn't, and like, did their probability not tell them about the, genocide of the Moose Token, or did they just not care?
Maybe
They don't really give a shit if another species gets genocided. I mean, individually they might, but like nothing about the primary overriding goal that combines all Keth is just ensuring that nobody reaches the juncture to make the decision that they made for fear that that species might make what the Keth consider to be the wrong choice. The Moose Token, due to their evolutionary choices, not choices, but due to their estate as both Moose and Token, the Keth just didn't calculate that they were ever going to reach that same juncture. So they were written off as a concern. So, like, they probably saw it coming, and let me put it this way. There's definitely, like, a Moose Token colony somewhere in Keth space. In case it turns out having living, viable breeding population of them is going to help the Keth later down the line. They admit that they don't know everything, they can just predict it very well. So in the event that the Moose Token would be helpful later on, they've squirreled some away, however, they weren't going to fight the human empire on that or deliver a cure for something that they weren't going to get that heavily involved.
All right, quick point I'm going to make. I don't care what anything that's been written or said so far says. The Keth Co. is a stellar mega corporation empire. And the reason it collapsed in fractionally splinter species was poor investments in junk bonds.
quite possible. I don't know.
That would be pretty funny. So like their religion is based around their base 12 number system, which they
Oh, these
refer
are
to
these
every-
base 12 motherfuckers we were talking about the other day.
Yeah, they consider so, like every number is also something called a primary origin, known as the Dzehu, and things that some people take to be like the degree to which math is their religion is a little bit played up. You could more call it like a hyper sophisticated philosophy with grounding. in fact.
Pythagoreans! I mean, not, but like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, it must be said that a Keth would sooner suffer running through a field of beans than dying, but they'd long for death as they did so.
Oh my god.
Okay,
These guys are
running
literally-
through a field of beans. Do they mean like beans as a plant? Because I presume beans grow on some sort of plant, although I don't know what plant.
Yes.
Or like a field just like knee deep in refried beans, because that's what I always imagine when people say that.
These guys,
It's clearly the plants.
these guys are literally just like if you like there was a race of Greek philosophers and they just like tried to kind of make sure that the Greek didn't make the same problems as the same decisions as the Romans, basically. Or the other way around. Wait, I'm bad at history.
I mean,
Don't worry, we all are.
most of the Greek philosophers existed before the Romans did anything worth talking about. All of the Roman philosophers were hacks.
Hey, how dare you?
No, I'm thinking
Dave,
of wait.
the
I'm
Roman
getting
philosopher,
things
was
mixed up.
genius.
Anyways, you get my joke was bad. Anyways, whatever. Anyways, moving on.
Never
But I think
debate.
you're like they have basically like a Greek philosophers with math powers.
Yeah. So I mean, it's perfectly possible that someone was just, like, on like the Keth equivalent of like Wall Street Bets was like, all right, guys, we're going all ticks. All ticks? Yeah, all ticks. It's ticks all the way down. And then someone was like, but that could result in collapsing our interstellar economy. Nah, man, bet on the ticks.
Oh god. Now it's basically just that Rick and Morty episode where like a
Oh,
particular
it's
has
zero.
changed the galactic currency from being worth 1 of itself to being worth 0 of itself.
Yeah, I'll fix that problem for money. For what it's worth, yeah, the Keth, like, don't really burden themselves with an economy in that fashion. They have,
Like
they're
any,
like,
it doesn't seem like any change stars race does.
oh yeah, well, I mean, there's,
What?
Hey, if you want an economy, you go hang out with the rats.
no, I mean, they've got an
I was
economy.
about to
It's
say,
just,
the Rast got a dope-ass economy.
Every-
Yeah,
Does
I guess
Rast
that's
have
fair.
an economy?
Most
I
people
like,
have-
100 economies. One, sort of.
Yeah. it's not,
These guys are just like
Yeah.
their own people. What do you mean?
but like having
Yeah,
like
well,
the
they
luxury
don't-
credits and coupons and stuff is still an economy.
Harder.
It's just like a controlled economy or a planned economy in some instances. The Keth like have a command economy, in a fairly literal sense. Like there's a consensus about what needs to be done, and then they do it. And most like individual like nitty gritty supply stuff is handled via algorithm. And the Keth are good enough at like math and computers that they can just there's not really a way to cheat them because they'd figured this out by the time of the Keth Co. It's just some people decided to be stupid. Like,
Okay, so do the Keth just get their income by like robbing other people's digital bank transfers?
they could, and they're definitely not above that. However, they also they will normally use Rastian fronts because it's not hard to find a Rast who will be what is known in this universe as a Rast hole to be the technical owner and holder of your money. But you know, so there's a lot like my headcanon, like when at the end of Change Stars, Rigid Stars, when Rainbow was like, okay, but Lucian tries to like stay rich because he likes being rich. I'm like, yeah, you get an invitation from a dude named Mr. Keth, who seems to want you to open a bank account on a Rastian home ship, and like they engage in all sorts of like quasi-legal monetary loopholes and investment schema, and they do this entirely for the utility of having the money. Like, the Keth aren't blowing this on having, like, a personal yacht and hookers and blow. It's, like, going into the communal resource, the Chaos Engine discretionary fund.
Mm.
And, like, they individually have luxuries, it's just that, like, they're kind of, like, very calculated, like, how much luxury is too much luxury. Like, I don't know about that one. So, like, they can ration the luxuries pretty well. And they just have a very formalized, like, you need to be able to, like, rationalize what you're doing as a Keth to be, like, a respected member of their society. And they don't really have a society where you can fuck off and do your own thing either. Because it's an entire command economy where you're being issued everything you have, more or less for a reason.
Space communism,
Except there's
Communism by electric leninade.
yeah, but it's not. Yeah, so it's not like there's no concept of like the worker or anything like that. The Keth definitely don't have any love for the common man. It's just
Okay, but who runs their society? Who decides what is and isn't important to do?
Who won the worldly brain?
So more or less, it is
Numbers.
Yeah, so it is.
Did somebody else join?
Yes, James is here. It is
Yeah,
a.
James is here now.
Alright. I was like, damn, you've
They
met so
have-
many people.
they
And now I'm
have-
just realizing you just put it in your group chat. Anyways.
They have a governing body. I think there was a name for them in the other thing that I can't remember because like in that one they had like puppet states and it was called like the Greater Keth Dominion or whatever. But they have more or less a consensus-run council, and the way that they do this is it's literally a consensus council. Every no vote is a veto, and they all just game out who's going to roadblock what until they 12D chess each other into all voting for the same thing, which is not what anybody wants, but which forwards everyone's objectives in a different, obscure fashion.
This is why nobody knows about them, because everything takes 10 years to decide.
Oh, everyone who goes to a Keth Council goes raving mad if you're not Keth. You either are converted or you have to go sit in padded walls.
Yeah.
They have an emergency bar just off site for any other species which visit.
Of course.
Shit.
But yeah, so I should be putting some of this down. Yeah, so government. But yeah, so basically, like, standing amongst the Keth is determined by,
How big your dick?
it's like, sort of like your, there are different schools of thought and theologies, but they are known as recombinant theologies, which is to say that they all have to plug back into the same system of jurisprudence. So even though there are sects, they're never allowed to drift. It's more like how different Orthodox churches have returned to the Catholic Church and are under the Catholic Church, but they preserve their unique traditions. And like if you're like a certain kind of like Armenian priest, you can be considered a Catholic priest, but you can also have a wife. Same for returning Anglicans or Episcopalians.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here's a question. Actually, no, this is completely off topic. Never mind.
No, don't worry. There's no strong topic here, Max. There's no strong topic.
Okay,
here.
well, I was just gonna say is like, I've played several games in which Coptic Christians is a religion. Are there still Coptic Christians, or is that like been folded into another denomination?
No.
Yeah,
They are also the only
modern day,
people. They're also the only people who preserve the Coptic language of Egypt. Well, let's just say that region of the world got the sword part of a certain green expansion, and there's maybe not as many of them around. The religion still exists. They are a very small minority in Egypt. They are an Egyptian
Okay, because
race.
I know you can get them in EU4, but it's like there's not that many of them around, and they're just like in Ethiopia weirdly.
No, they are in that region of the world more or less. Although Ethiopia goes on to be they more or less convert to Byzantine Christianity. And I believe I recall, was it Dr. Fisher? Hold on, holy shit, I'm dropping names. Whatever, a certain doctor of fish, who mentioned that like the best preservation of like Greek Orthodox Church as it would have been in the Byzantine Empire is found in Ethiopia.
Sounds
I
like
can believe
something
that
they would
because-
say.
I mean, that particular doctor did, go to Ethiopia.
Obsessively talk about Ethiopia.
I remember I had a mission when I was playing Italy in EU4 to befriend the Ethiopian Christians. The problem was that required me to become allies with any Christian nation in this certain area. The downside of that was, by the time I got around to that, there was only one tiny shitty province actively being besieged of Christians left in Ethiopia. So I had to literally go in there, like do a whole bunch of shenanigans, swoop in and beat up a bunch of Africans to make friends with people I didn't even give a shit about in the first place.
Indeed.
And then they died again later when I wasn't paying attention.
In a video game, please do not take this out of context.
Please do take this out of context. That's actually Max's opinions on things.
Yeah.
So, are we going to talk
Quite.
about Thrin weddings?
Yes, right? So what do you guys think there should be? Because I'm open to suggestions.
Well, I mean, we
I'm-
have to think about how our wedding ceremonies came to be, so we can figure out the cultural factors that would influence a
Well-
Thrin wedding. So, like, a Western wedding comes from a lot of this old, transfer of property, giving your
Right.
daughter over to someone else stuff.
Aren't Fen like all? Isn't it like part of their culture to be polyamorous too?
Yeah, they have,
no,
like,
they're-
life bonds with
life
generally the normal life bond is, like, 4 partners.
No.
That's the the average Thren probably doesn't get all the way to a 4-tuplet or quadruplet or whatever they're called.
Well, are they all connected to each
Quintet.
other, or is it? Because that's not exactly polyamory, to be honest. Like, are all of them? Like,
No, they're not all.
in one like 4-way relationship, or is it just like
no. They may all live in the same house though.
with like potentially
with
like
the
12 other people
matriarch-
or whatever, like
with the matriarch and her. So the matriarch gets, if we're talking about the typical Bren Vila, which is kind of what I'm basing a lot of. I did most of my development for Bren, relationship circles when I was working on the Bren Vila concept. But a traditional Bren Vila will have 5. What are they called? Annexes?
Villa?
5 annexes, and one of them is for like the elders and/or teenagers of the family who are moving out or moving in. And it's all actually like consent based too. Like if somebody in the family did not fuck with someone's grandfather, the person's not allowed in the villa. Anyway, though,
like that would just present a lot of problems though. Like, oh, you don't like my grandfather, but I'm not willing to part with my grandfather. So now you have to break up with that other person that we're both like married to. Like,
but to be fair though, like that's actually like the whole like we are a nuclear family and we have no functional like familial memory about grievances or relations is like an ultra modern, peculiar to some Western countries setup. Like multi-generational families where shit like that was true have been the norm throughout most of human history. So like, yes, it would cause a lot of problems. However, I mean that's
also
just
generational family feuds are the best.
Yeah, and
so
you
I'm
do
sure
have
they'll-
separate like parts of the house since they're like kind of divided.
Right. So yeah, I was
Also,
actually getting to that.
Real quick though, we need to change the name of these dev streams to however.
However.
That should be the name of these podcasts.
Yeah, actually, though.
I mean,
All right, but however, you've got your elder family annex. Then these are like the only 2 like kind of unique-ish annexes of this 5-part villa. Then you've got also the family matriarchs kind of annex, and the family matriarchs annex revolves around her and her usually up to 3. There are different cultures among the Thren. There are different ways of practicing this. There are different amounts of people that can potentially like interact. A lot of Thren don't ever get that 3 partners sort of thing. A lot of Thren kind of have 2. That's kind of an average, I would say. Most Thren have 2 partners, but getting your 3rd is considered like a cool thing to do.
I feel like it's, I don't know. I feel like it's weird to say, like, because people are so different and everything, right?
Mhm.
It feels weird to say that they're like the culture is based off that, to say it's an accepted thing within the culture and maybe like happens often. Sure, but like just to be like, yeah, like literally every friend is polyamorous is like kind of weird.
Well, I don't know. Like, I mean, it by the like whether or not you believe humans are innately monogamous. Like, a lot of that is an imposed social structure with
Exactly.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So
And
it's
there's,
possible
and
that humans are more like.
consider
there's,
that
there's so many different kinds of people that
Right.
say that like saying one or the other is the norm is weird to me.
true, but like
We do have a norm.
There are 2 kinds
we
of
have,
monogamy.
like, a
Yeah.
monogamous marriage, and that's
There's
the
a
norm.
norm.
Even if a
Yeah.
lot of people don't agree with it or subscribe to it, like
but it's
just the thread
not-
version of that.
it's socially the norm, but
Yes.
yes. Actually it's not. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
that's
like humans aren't a species that mates for life, so there is deviance there. But like the point is just that like culturally, like even if it doesn't work for someone and this isn't
Yeah.
what they would prefer, that is
Exactly,
it's culturally. And I mean, if we really want to make a stretch here, like the civilization does come up on like a they're more or less like they are deer people. Like they come from herds.
Kind of. I mean, kind of. But yeah. No, they do have, I mean, like, they have a...
Humans come from monkeys, which lots of them live in tribes.
Yeah,
well,
but
that's
yeah.
humans are tribal, definitely. Is actually one of the things I might even consider
Yeah.
including in their opening sentence in
Yeah.
the change.
I do fear like straying too far into bioessentialism with some of those because I was thinking like well they're like the Thren are like plain surge, but at the same time I'm like maybe I don't want to like overstate that. I think that an entirely cultural explanation can exist. And, like,
Yeah.
there have been human cultures, like, on Earth where there were expectations that were different from just straight monogamy. And
Yeah, no, actually,
people weren't happy in those either.
I would say the three species that I don't want to ascribe too much bioessentialism to are the Rasks, the humans, and the Thren. With the Morai, there is a great deal of bioessentialism that must be taken into account because they are fundamentally a hive-based species. With the Newsby, they're fundamentally antisocial. With the Cats, I don't fucking care. Probably the bees are similar to the humans and the Rasks and the Thren, though. Like, those are folks that I don't really want to delve too far into the bioessential. Ooh, the Veer. Don't want to be too bioessentialist with them either. But yeah, like there are some species in this universe that are fundamentally different from humanity, and the Thren, there's a great amount of social difference, but biologically speaking, there's a lot of similarities, and that's actually one of the reasons the Thren were particularly interested in reforming humanity, because they thought kind of a little bit like us when we were younger, maybe we can help.
These genocidal maniacs remind me of myself when I was but a lad.
They never really
Stomping
went
around
that
in my
far.
high school, just murdering the entire freshman class.
No, the Trinity saw
Those damn freshies.
the Friends saw them as like a dark direction that their own species could have taken, but didn't.
I remember that one time I got broken up with and almost committed a genocide. I was sitting there with my finger on the nerve gas button, but no, I pulled myself away. I got better, and you can get better too. Sign up today for my anti-genocide classes called Don't Kill Everyone. It's really not that hard. Like, it really takes a lot of effort to go your way and kill everyone. Just don't do that. We're working on a prototype.
You say that, but like think about how hard humanity is dealing with concepts like don't murder, don't rape. Like, I mean, if the Ten Commandments worked, we wouldn't have.
Oh, I mean, I completely agree, and that's one of the things that continues to baffle me about people is that they'll go so out of their way to do terrible things, and I'm like, I can't even go out of my way to do good things.
Well, it's because
So,
doing good things is a lot harder than doing
how
bad
does someone,
things.
spend all this time and all this mental energy being a terrible person? Like,
It's really
it
easy.
doesn't seem worth it.
Really easy to be an awful person. That's why.
Well, yeah, that apparently. But
Being a-
like,
being
at the
a
same
good
time,
person is
it's
really
also
hard.
really easy just to be a nothing person. It's way easier. Just instead of saying terrible things online to women, you just don't do that. It's not even a positive action, just a negative action towards doing a thing. If you're about to say like, "Hey, I'm about to give death threats to this movie developer because the movie wasn't as good as I wanted," just don't do that. It's way easier.
Yeah.
You can
But-
still
but
think
actually-
Max is inspirational
Don't-
at the
However,
last, like,
no, Max, because it's difficult to repress the emotions you're feeling about the movie. So it's a lot easier to just go online
I
and
don't know
scream
what
at
you're talking
somebody
about.
and let all
I
your
know
emotions
if
out.
you're
I don't know
feeling
what you're
emotions
talking
about the
about.
movie, you've already gone too far.
I don't know what
Just
you're
Oh,
talking
come on,
about.
Max's emotional health class, where he's like
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
sandwich
don't-
test
I was
everyone.
raised
Don't
in
exist as
Western
a
So I want you to
person,
take-
is like-
I can repress emotions like a champ.
Yeah, no, I mean, but the question is like, is it because it's harder? Okay, why are we even discussing this? Is it
Game of
harder?
Game
Is
of
it
We're
Reza.
discussing this because it
Oh,
needs
come
to
on.
be discussed, Lee.
We're going
Don't
to
silence
discuss the nature of
masses.
evil
No.
on a Friday night.
Is it harder for them to address their true feelings that are leading them to overinvest in superficial matters like film that they didn't like, and whatever culture warrior stance they're taking there with
I mean,
like
yes,
women
but
are
Max
ruining-
isn't arguing that they should be emotionally well adjusted. He's saying they should be too lazy to even do the
Yeah.
substitute behavior.
Exactly.
He's
Too
saying that
lazy
instead
to
of that
people
substitute
to
behavior of
like-
angry ranting, they should go substitute by making a sandwich
I
and taking a
mean-
nap.
I mean, lethargy just isn't everyone's vice.
No, here's the thing, though, Lee. Many great leaders and peacemakers throughout history have been like, love trumps hate, or, we need light to drown out the darkness. Fuck all that. Just what the darkness stays in bed.
Max basically says
Laziness,
everything be
philosophy.
gray. Max is like, can everything just be gray?
I'm just saying, what if we've been trying to fight deadly sins with virtue? What if we fight the sin of wrath with the sin of sloth?
You're an idiot.
We can eliminate
That's-
7 deadly
I'm sorry,
sins
Max.
down to
That
1
is-
deadly sin if we
that
just
is-
have everyone overwhelmed with sloth.
Of course, I mean,
I fucking
stop trying to get people to care and start trying to get your enemies to not care.
that might be the memeiest thing I've ever said. I'm not gonna lie. I just said some memey things before, so
Hashtag meme magic.
How dare you disrespect this very real and serious thing I'm saying in a not at all joking manner?
Hmm.
God, I wish there was a chat right now.
There is.
By the way-
They're about to go, so I don't know who's watching.
us.
Well, no, there is all of us and evidently Party Wipe Games.
Oh wow, did you guys stream us on a really low-key dev night? Shit, I'm sorry, Party Wipe. We're having fun.
What happened to me? What the hell?
I don't know whether or not they're actually here, but they're just in the users in chat section.
It might be.
Wait, there's a section you can check?
Yeah. It doesn't always update properly though.
Yeah, it's where the little you see on the top of the stream chat where there's the little like 2 heads. You click on that and it shows you all the names.
Huh.
Okay. I think I gotta take care of this. Let's see.
Anyways, want to talk about tabletop games again? Jesus.
Yeah, let's go back
We
to
still didn't even talk
Yeah,
about
talk
Thrin
about-
weddings. We got distracted.
Okay, so
Damn it, Madeline,
and
can't you tell my entire
So
purpose?
I
is to
think
derail this?
point number 1 of Throne Weddings is it the sort of we probably want to make it different from the handing over kind of weddings that we see in Western cultures, right?
I mean, maybe
Yeah.
more like handfast. It's pretty cute.
Hey,
Yeah.
just remove.
I was thinking, all right. See, here's a dumb thought that I had, and
Remove
Rex,
what,
or,
Rainbow?
like, let me know if you think.
Yeah,
this
I
is
just got a
stupid.
thing that says you've been removed from the hangout, and then it kicked me out of the thing.
Oh, wait a minute. What?
Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
Is there even a way for me to remove people from that? I'm clicking on you guys and I can't even see a way to kick you. Did it look like the message you got when that was happening with meats?
I don't remember what it looked like when it looked like with meats, but it was just black and it had text that said that, so I don't know.
That's weird.
Maybe
I didn't do anything.
The logic I was using was so convincing that it convinced Meats to make you kick out.
Ah, yes.
But should Meats have made a sandwich and taken a nap instead of going into a drastic move such as action of any kind?
That's a good point. It probably shouldn't have done any action. That's
So, all
progress.
A dumb thing that I was thinking about was, what if, like, traditionally there's like some sort of ribbon tied around the horns of like part members who are getting bonded together, and they like have their foreheads up against each other, kind of like a cute sort of thing, instead of like a ceremonial kiss or something, just like, you know, tying a ribbon around each other's horns. And the dumb
That's
thing that
adorable.
I was thinking is that, like, to facilitate this process with a human who doesn't have horns, she would be given like a cute tiara or something.
Interesting. So what does it symbolize? Just being
Yeah.
like literally tied together?
I mean, their bond in the, no, there's got to be some symbolism, and of course I probably defaulted to ribbon tying because that's like an archaic human symbolism laden thing, which I've seen multiple times, so maybe this is like, you know, totally new.
Yeah, because you can bind people with ribbon, they can drink from the same cup, they can take like steps in the same direction. Like we've got a lot of those rituals.
Right. There's a lot of rituals. I mean, I feel like some of them are kind of culturally androgynous to extents. Like, you know, I think tying a ribbon is like something that's definitely been done throughout multiple human cultures. So I'm like, you know, maybe something that's been done throughout multiple human cultures could have been done throughout multiple.
Yeah. Way better than the Roman traditions, like Ubi, Gaius, Ego, Gaia, wherever your Gaias, I'll be the female version of you because I don't have my own identity anymore.
We want to avoid that with the Thren. They've got, so I need to actually, I do need to actually do some research, which is why I was like, you know, not eager to do this immediately. Like, I need to do some research into human marriage traditions because, you know, my understanding of marriage traditions may be kind of grounded in the whole Western-centric concepts that I've been shown as throughout my childhood, and I need to like dig deeper and find some like more fundamental human experience sort of elements of
Oh shit!
wedding ceremonies. And, then I need to go from those kind of fundamental things that you see repeated and think about, well, how would Ren culture, which is somewhat different, engage in those concepts or similar concepts. And, to touch on what you said earlier, Rainbow, and, not to, re-up on that conversation that we were having necessarily, but, yes, there are some Thren who are not polyamorous. Just as there are many humans who consider themselves polyamorous in Thren culture, it's less, it's just less common to be only interested in one person. And that's just kind of generally how their society has, brought them to this juncture. Like their society has continued to uphold polyamorous traditions, even though they consider themselves to be like kind of advanced and not grounded necessarily in excess of tradition, they still fall prey to a lot of the same sort of, we do this way because we've always done this way sort of things, the same way humans do. That's why they're matriarchal as opposed to like an egalitarian society. There's a lot, the Thren talk good game, but at the end of the day, yes, they do still follow traditions. They do things because it's always been done that way. There's a lot of similarities between the Thren and the human. Now, the Thren and the humans have not gone down the same paths, but there's there's a connection. They're not too dissimilar. But yeah.
Oh my god! In Pat's future versions, the Avena have their own space, and two of them, yes.
Yes,
Oh,
you'll
I
know
was gonna
that those are some of the darkest timelines.
So the Avena are the name that I gave the Rastian sea dragons. Is obviously they don't call themselves that, like they're a sentient species.
I love it. What were you
I
saying?
just want to state for the record real quick, I spilled my drink on my pants. I did not pee myself. So if I stand up and you see a large wet stain on my pants,
I
it's
spilled my
because I'm
drink
an
on
idiot.
earlier too. I just took off.
I would mock you, but I
I'm
did see you
considering
spill
taking
your
off my
drink on
pants.
yourself.
Here, what
I
you
literally
should
spilled
do-
it, shouted "oh shit," and then ran around with some paper towels for a minute. It was in the middle
Max,
of
you
Pat's
have,
thing,
a
so
long sleeve- Do you have a long sleeve shirt? Just make yourself a real quick skirt. Look cute.
I don't have a long sleeve shirt. I don't even think I own long sleeve shirts.
Do you have a skirt?
Yeah. Also, Max is
Long
in his
sleeve
home.
shirts
If
are
he
the-
really cared, he could just go get new pants.
Yeah, I could walk 10 feet and get some new pants. I have a lab coat. That's like a long sleeve shirt.
Okay. Wrap that around your waist. Make yourself a cute long skirt.
I'm pretty sure that would be a bad idea for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is the drink I spilled is bright blue and would stain it. And
Think of a lab coat as an
I'm not-
overdress worn
well,
as intended.
the bigger issue is lab coat material isn't super opaque. Isn't super opaque. And while you might enjoy that, Pat, I can see by your facial expressions we're on a stream.
Well, actually, technically, you're not
Wow,
on the stream.
shirtless James, pantless Max. What is this
Technically
energy?
speaking, no one's on the stream right now, but I could turn on a little box that makes you on the stream because I'm not doing anything. with
Lee,
stream
why
like
don't you show everybody my 3 potential futures that I just sent the Mad Bats in case anybody's interested.
Oh, those are the futures. Okay, that makes more sense.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
no,
they're
they're
like-
potential futures.
I see a severe problem with all of these futures.
Pat,
The
link,
juice probably gets
somebody,
fat people.
somebody put the link to it in in the image in the Alien Space Scapers chat, and I will throw it up.
What's Alien Space Scapers?
The roll 20.
Scappers,
that we
it's the roll
always-
20.
Oh wow, I feel stupid. Yeah, that's rather fair.
Man,
I mean,
if
maybe
only
you
I
would
could
know what
read
it
the
is
writing on
if
these.
it, had a name that made sense. A name without a typo.
True, true.
And without a typo, impossible when it's Lee.
It's either a
I
typo.
can't.
or
I love you. Lee.
No, you're not kidding.
Wait, so in the feudal stars, there's like just a Rast section that's off past everything else. Like, we just left the rest of the galaxy to their own devices and are hanging out over here.
I mean, I don't know what
I'm
part of
assuming
the giant
expanded-
Divina Horde section you're missing, but I think they ran away with their tails tucked between their legs to not get eaten.
Yes.
I should probably put on new pants.
Feudal Stars is the
I'm just
all
looking down at the scene and it's a mess.
where the Amina take everything. That's the Feudal Stars alt universe. Fractured Stars is
Alright, you're having
what
some
happens-
problems.
What
That's
happens
not
if
true.
the Rast
The-
win the war?
Wait, what is
Expanded
Fractured Stars?
That's what happens if the Rast win the war.
Oh,
And expanded stars is the stalemate.
Expanded Stars is what happens if the Rast really lose the war.
Yeah, I
Oh,
figured
never mind.
expanded stars was Rast don't do too hot because various reasons.
See, the Rast actually still survive as their own separate entity in the Expanded Stars verse.
If there's one thing
They're
I
all
could never
sideways.
believe about the Rast, it's their total like extinction or dissolution as a species because they're just too goddamn tenacious and like
Oh,
cute.
absolutely.
And like
No,
we're gonna find some alien somewhere to just show up and be like, "Please give us a sidewalk, please," and they're gonna be like, "Okay, what could possibly go wrong?" And then we kill them. I
Yeah,
mean, they.
no. No, yeah. the
Max
Rast
speaking
is
as if
gonna
he is a Rast.
Max
I
is
mean,
yes, Max is a Raz, James is a new squire.
Raskin, if you will.
The CEO of
If I was a
Rast.
if I was a Rast, I wouldn't have been wearing pants to spill my drink on, so life would be better, objectively.
buy you to put it on
Hey,
your
New
fur.
Squad don't have to wear shirts ever, so life would be great.
Okay, Newsboy have a cloaca. Like, they shit out of the same hole they eat in, James.
Bruh, can
Hey,
we not?
If you've ever listened to James talk, he clearly shits out of the same hole he eats into.
Bro! He's toxic.
I'm proud of that one. No regrets.
That was beautiful. That
Wow,
was-
we're just being so cruel.
Right? What the fuck?
Somebody, please, blame me.
You say this like it's a surprise, Lee, when you have me and Max in a chat.
Yeah, James and I's entire purpose is like the yin and the yang. If we do not fight, the world falls apart.
It's true.
I don't know. Isn't there a rule that all bickering is sexual tension at its heart?
I mean, that too. Don't get me wrong. James and I would fuck hard. Make no mistake.
Let's get
You'll
them
be
in a
very
circle.
aggressive.
It's like high school.
What is
Big
happening? Can we talk about tabletop games again?
Oh yeah.
No.
Clearly, we
no.
can't talk about this wedding.
Okay,
It's just not
speaking
gonna
of
happen.
change
Pick something else.
tabletop game, not even through wedding related. I also think that someone should do the Food Wars hack for the stream because I still want to play it. And,
Oh my God.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was the best.
Absolutely.
return
I will
of
need to
Baker.
reprise Rudata.
Okay, what if we do that next week? That'll give me a hella time to plan, and then, oh yeah. Alright, fuck it.
As long
Next-
as it's the return of Baker.
Next week on Diesel Shot, we will be doing the Food Wars hack of the.
Who's the main character, though?
Clearly Rudata.
Ooh.
You don't need a main character. I mean,
an
it
anime,
basically
yes, you
turns
do.
into an
I think the
ensemble
main
cast.
character- I think the main character of
now, huh? Dave,
What?
when are you free? Do you want me to do this on Saturdays or Fridays? You will literally determine what
Wow.
day I run.
I have so much power.
Yeah.
I actually don't care. I'm free both
Yeah,
days most of the times. So
We'll
Fridays
figure it out.
probably. I don't know.
Fridays? All right. That's kind of what I was going
Like
for.
Saturdays work, but like I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Alright.
literally don't. I don't care. I actually don't care.
Anyway, whichever day we're not doing Destroyer of Worlds on, we will be.
We tallied up 11 Ratatouille climaxes.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So-
The kitchen also lit on fire twice.
Hard.
Yeah, it happened.
And there was a moment when we had to lock the entire kitchen down because Lee's character just started screaming.
Yeah, one might have to say Throg in this instance. Speaking of which, drop our Throgs in chat.
I will say, I
I'm
mean,
playing a
I
video
think
game.
the best part about the kitchen hack, and is not any of like the stuff I did to convert the skills. It's purely the fact the stress system is exactly the same. And so, like, the idea that you're just cooking during a normal day, and then you
And it's
start to freak
stressful as
out.
fuck. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
actually
Every
funny.
kitchen is war.
It actually is though.
Right, but what was it mostly about? Like battling each other with food? Like, was that actually?
No, like the protagonists are all like part of a restaurant, right? They're all trying to make a restaurant work. They're all different parts of the restaurant.
What if that? But the food, but like basically what is on the TV show, and they're all in like a cooking school. That's way too competitive.
I mean, I don't want to.
I mean, then you're not a party. Like, the Shokugeki format doesn't work for a tabletop RPG. It didn't work for season 4 either. I stopped watching like halfway through because it was just Shokugekis.
There's 4
The one thing I
seasons.
also say is,
Yeah.
Pat,
Thinking of season 5 too.
Season 5 is airing right now.
I think a
isn't
system
it?
Yeah,
could
it
be
is.
created to make the Alien RPG work well for PvP cooking, but effectively the way it works right now is like you make a dish with a roll.
Well, but here's
it
the
would just
thing,
be
you don't-
roll off,
it's-
and roll off
it's
is not
the-
interesting.
There's in the show. There's like a season that is literally just like a group, like it's like group v group Shokugeki, and it's literally like a series of 1v1s basically.
Yeah, but it's
So,
not
yes.
good compared
I
to
don't
the rest
know,
of
I
the
like
show. I mean, it
Competitive
just
skill checks just
so
aren't
light.
engaging as a base mechanic in tabletop games.
I think I can figure it out. If you want to make your character as
I
if
don't
they
know.
are the main character of a Food Wars-esque scenario,
That was a
Go
joke.
for it.
That was a joke. The main character thing.
I mean, there's not going to be a main character, but there will be certain roles that need to be filled. I think we had a really nice situation last time where we had like 2 cooks, different type of cooking, baking versus like cooking, and a
You had,
bar.
like non-chefs in the show.
and, sorry.
You had like non-chefs. Yeah.
Well, there was a bartender, 2 cooks, and a waiter.
Yeah, I'll actually pull up the conversion I made real quick, and I can send it to A, the Hangout, and B, the Twitch chat.
The waiter did a
So-
lot of like the like manipulation stuff and like making everybody feel better about the meal that they got, you know, and all that sort of stuff. Like they were really the intermediary. And correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but like the flow of things worked pretty well the way I handled it. Where, I mean, like obviously it was kind of partially a happy accident, but there was like the front section and the back section to the initiative.
Yeah, it worked out really well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Where's
Sure.
Partially because it was hilarious, so even when you weren't doing anything, you were laughing.
True.
Oh,
It was a fun game. I just didn't want to do too many of them because one of the things you guys said was, this was amazing, but let's not do it too much. So
Also,
like,
like,
I've been
was-
trying to.
Was it like funny because like haha cooking is combat, or was it funny because like what made it funny?
It was a little bit of
It-
cooking is combat.
It was
haha,
also
but,
the thing is we kept rolling. We also I think one of the feedback points, Pat, was that you should like make a custom panic table because it did get stretchy a few times.
Yeah.
But we would often like lose something, then have to come up with a weird food combo just to make it work. Because we didn't have what
So
we
the
intended.
back room kept on rolling panics, and specifically, we kept on rolling drop things.
It was great.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I'm
like even you're
definitely-
gonna cook.
Definitely gonna have to throw more and more of that into the ultra panic table.
Keep
But that-
Scream though, because that was also a funny moment.
Scream was hilarious. The waiter had to do so much after that just to be like, everything's fine. Everything's fine.
Hmm.
All right, I just sent a link to a screenshot of the conversion to both the Hangouts chat and the Twitch chat. Effectively, the way it works out is most of the skills go to sort of back of house actual cooking stuff, but bartending and waiting and like hosting are all things you can very much do and have skills sent towards them. Part of that is just to allow for a variance of playstyles, so you don't end up with like party that just everyone's sitting in the kitchen because that isn't super interesting.
Yeah.
And also because at the end of the day, how many like subdivisions of cooking can I meaningfully divide this into without it being likely that a small party just won't be able to do basic things because of the divisiveness of the skills?
I don't have someone who places garnishes. No.
I really want to at some point not in this. In actual, now that I think, I really want to play a character in an Alien RPG game that's just like one in all of the skills and like an even distribution of skill or of
Like 3-3-3 or
attribute
something.
point.
Fuck, you'd be terrible.
I mean, I basically played that character for the Wednesday one shot. I mean, I had a 1 in almost every skill and not a lot in my major skills except for mobility. And it was fine. Like, it does give you some flexibility, especially once you rack up the stress.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've actually turned around a lot too. I mean, my character in the game the other day, it was a infectious disease scientist expert. But the thing is, scientist doesn't give you any medical aid, so I just like put a decent amount into medical aid based on my attributes and the 1 point I could give it. And the one time I had to roll it, I mean, I still failed, but I rolled like 8 dice because of the stress. So you can, once the tension starts to ramp up, you have a decent shot at completing any given thing if you put a little bit into it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had to do some heavy machinery checks. And it worked out. I mean, that's not why people died.
I mean, people died because you people didn't take my idea to go sell our score to the highest bidder.
I don't actually remember what game we're talking about.
You died. You were the company agent, Avery
Oh!
Fogg.
Duh, that one. Oh yeah, wait, that wasn't Change Stars.
Nope.
I thought we were talking about a Change Stars episode. I'm sorry. Yeah, wait, what were we talking about earlier? I feel like we were talking about something important.
Grand weddings?
Oh,
I
yes.
feel like that's the most circle back topic, apart from, like, we
Wedding.
started with the Red Knight many moons ago.
Yeah,
Did
I
you
don't know.
let Thread Weddings progress as a
Before you
meaningful
even got
topic?
here-
I'm going to go put on different pants while you talk about them so you can actually get meaningfully into the conversation.
So, alright.
Before you even got here, we switched off at night. Though, Pat, don't worry.
Max, you might cut your camera. Or I guess he's walking away.
I'm gonna go freaking like into a different room, idiot.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know maybe you would do something a little exciting. I don't know.
I think I was gonna do like a strip tease.
I mean, I didn't think it was impossible.
There is probably one viewer by the numbers that is watching but isn't one of us.
Interesting.
Everyone, chant one of us at them. One of us.
Let's play Mafia until we find out who it is. Is it you, anonymous person? Is it you, anonymous person?
I'm just looking at the
Oh my
viewer
god,
numbers.
now I just really want to play Mafia.
I do too. What the fuck? Okay, wait. All right. Let me just digress a little bit further from this already mad digress topic. But I'm a member of a certain Lego forum, and I have been for a very long time. Now, this also is where I first started playing Mafia and RPGs in general. Yes, that is also where I originated the Daniel Long persona, even. Crazy. So, the Mafia community on this LEGO forum, which will be named Eurobricks in this hypothetical, that is actually its name, was, in Eurobricks, there is a very popular Mafia, forum-based Mafia community. And they make up a lot of the nicer, parts of the forum for people who don't necessarily build all the time or buy Lego all the time, like me at this juncture in my life. I'm still playing the Mafia games though, and they're fun. AF. I was thinking, because I'm in with that community, I might do a little bit of cross promotion and host, get this, a Lego Change Stars Mafia game. I know.
How is Max not here when you proposed that? He's pogging right now. He doesn't even know why. He's pogging in another room. He's pogging.
I'm an OG member of this community. Like, if I asked for it, I would get it. So, like, I could literally just do this. I would have to actually make the sets for it and take pictures and stuff, and it's a rather in-depth process. But this could happen in the near future, and I will definitely make sure to let you guys know if it does. It'll probably be a very bare-bones plot, because in Mafia, the plot's not overly important. It'll probably just be like, there are some human separatists in this random assortment of people who happen to all be in this one place at the same time. Find out who the human separatists are, and, lynch them for the night. And
Wow.
Don't report them to the authorities. Lynch them.
That's how Mafia works. It'll be run by
Yeah.
Oh my god, you make that joke.
It's not a joke. That's how Mafia. You ever played Mafia?
Pat, you
That's
made
how
it.
Mafia works?
You did that thing where you unintentionally referenced the stupid meme again.
Oh.
Saying that's how Mafia works is.
Okay, I see how you're saying. What you're saying. Yeah, no, that isn't me. Yeah, no, but like I was thinking about it. I'm like, all right, Ahsoka Tano's head from the more contemporary Star Wars Lego sets, mixed with the Satyr from the minifigure series, of which I have many,
Walk into.
would make a decent Thren Lego minifigures head.
Oh, you'd actually build them even from Legos. I was really wondering, like, how is this Lego? I thought you were just gonna
No,
draw things that look like Legos, like the animation from the stuff.
I would make Lego minifigures that would represent the Thren in this hypothetical Lego Chain Stars Mafia game.
You do realize that I have a 3D printer and could simply print Thren Legos.
Whoa, you can make the headpiece? I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you would
Like,
need to
do you
3D
have the
model
ability
head.
to CAD, to 3D model a
I've seen somebody has
I
done it
have the
already.
hypothetical ability to
Somebody
CAD
have already
that,
done
Madeline,
it.
and that's the best kind of ability.
I mean, my brother's an engineer who specializes in CAD. You'd probably do it. I don't know if he'd want to do it, but
Well,
wait,
I
I'm
mean,
gonna send
honestly,
something
it's less a
to you.
technical proficiency with CAD thing and more artistic thing when it comes to something like a organic head.
yeah.
Okay, somebody did this
Or actually
as
some like Zeus
a.
sculpt.
Somebody did this as a. I guess. Let me see. So obviously, you know what. You know by now. You've actually seen the comic. What what the Pluazi are, and they're not really that similar to the Thren, except in
Except
physical
for-
form. And,
Honestly, the temperaments seem pretty similar, apart from the whole gagging on human dick thing. Like, cheerful, enthusiastic, slightly
Hey.
impulsive.
The Thren can gag on human dick just as well as anyone. They just do it less.
Yeah, well, they don't have to. I mean, the humans were huge racists in the comic. Like, the third of more self-respect.
yeah, no, exactly. Like, actually, one of the things Incase has talked about the series is that, like, yeah, he does not actually want to follow up on it too much because the implications of this society that he's built into this comics does not appeal to him, and he thinks it's terrible. And I'm like, yeah, bro, I feel that. Let me do
Oh
it
my
better.
god.
Back in horses. Or
Xeno friends.
yes, I know. Somebody put that up for Lego. They've got this thing where you can make like it's called Lego Ideas, where you can basically propose to Lego what they'll like a set that they would make. Somebody did this.
And
So if I
open an
find who did
incognito browser to see this.
no, it's not loop. If I find
Mhm.
the person who did this and
Oh,
ask
that's
them
actually cute.
ask them for the CAD models that they used to make this ideas pitch. We could have.
Oh, they even
CAD
have the little
model.
cheerleader, my favorite character.
I know the cheerleader, the cute boy cheerleader.
Oh god, the people in the comments who know and then the people in the comments who don't know are like, wow, you did great custom boxes!
It's amazing. I love it.
I'm imagining a sitcom to accompany it. Me too. It would not broadcast on TV.
Yeah.
It's an Adult Swim sitcom, we all know it.
Oh no, it's more like a
HBO.
sitcom.
It could possibly run on like some edgier Thren channels, TBH, because they're really sex positive and stuff. So like edgy plus sex positive equals maybe it could happen.
Can we canonize it that the in-case comics are canon in Change Stars?
I thought we already said
They
that,
just
that they're
exist as like Thren
propaganda.
fetish porn.
No, they are canon in Change Stars, but in a totally different sense. They are human propaganda made before the war to kind of show people that, you know, these are not a species to be taken seriously. They're just little sex hounds who are easily
and then they lose to them. That is the
Side, and then
power. That is the power of the reversed leg. Y'all ever just casually forget that like Thren have like reversed deer legs until you see some art that has it in it? And you're like, oh right.
Yeah.
That's
No,
that's
I
like
don't,
the
because I don't
actual-
think about the Thren that much.
That is the actual only difference with the thread of the blouse.
I downloaded like some art the other day. I was just looking for character art for something, and I downloaded a piece of art that had this like kind of soldier-esque looking guy, but like it also had like 4 other characters, and one of them was like a deer, and I was like, that is a Thren. That looks exactly like a Thren. And then I saw the legs, and I was like, man, I never thought about that. Like, also like there was a bunch of other features that I was like, man, I really don't think about how the Thren look besides their faces because that's all chat draws.
Yeah.
I've drawn like
Token art
1,
problems.
2 actually. But yeah, they got deer legs, which is different from the in-case model, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I still have to get that written permission from Incase, but I literally talked to Incase during his last stream. He was like, "Yeah, do whatever with my art. It's cool as long as you credit me. Like it's all hunky dory." And I'm like, "Sweet." But I want you to get that in writing for me because you do these streams verbally.
Just,
I mean, technically, a recording of a verbal thing is also
yeah,
pretty rock
Really?
solid in terms of legality.
pretty
Yeah,
legally
well.
binding. Yeah.
Fair enough. Either way, I just
But yeah, still, get it in writing can't.
Yeah. Get everything in writing.
I don't want to ambush the artists, you know? Like, I'm an artist too. I respect like, in case he's obviously miles above me, but, you know, I want to be respectful and get it in writing and not ambush him midstream. Like, maybe he'll be like, oh, yeah, do whatever
Tweet
midstream,
him.
but, like, afterwards, he's like,
Well, I mean-
let's talk. So, you know, I want to give that opportunity. But yeah, if he says no, I'll just change the design of the ground a little bit.
Yeah. You know, give them like one big horn that goes off the top of their head like that.
No,
Okay. I
Not-
don't think making them more like unicorns is the answer here.
that's
Okay,
not
give
how-
them 2 big horns that go off their head like that.
See, if I actually change them to be anything, this is going to sound terrible, and you know, I'm hoping that I don't have to go this direction, but I will make them a little bit more like Minotaur people-y, you know, where it's like off to the side rather significantly. And I'm hoping I don't have, and I'll give them longer tails. I'm hoping I don't have to go that direction, though. I like the design as it is.
Mm-hmm. You know what, Pat? I like your design as it is.
I mean, also, like, it exists as, like, a cultural, like, I've delved so deep into their culture, their appearance is kind of ancillary to that, or, like, you know, not ancillary.
Yeah.
If I end
It
up
would
being,
be a little bit weird, though, because I'm so used to the Thren.
oh, totally, it would be
looking a
weird.
certain
I don't want
way.
to do that. I don't want to do that, yeah. But if I have to, I will. But I'm pretty sure Incase is going to be 100% show.
Now you have the fucking Sailor Moon theme stuck in my head, Lee. God damn it.
Dang, are you like a big fan of Sailor Moon Rainbow?
I've watched the show before. I'm not like a big fan, but
Oh, wow, I'm shocked. I never would have imagined.
I've definitely watched the show, and also I like the theme song a lot. I don't know.
I mean, I'm not a big fan. I just have like a Sailor Mars body pillow. Fine.
Isn't Sailor Mars like the really?
I don't fucking know.
Um,
I just know they're sailors and they're named after different celestial
Pretty
bodies.
sure Sailor Mars is the like super tomboy one.
Oh!
That's when I have.
Hold on, tomboy supremacy moment.
Tomboy what?
Never mind. I guess nobody else is converted to tomboyism.
I know the meme, Lee. I got you. Don't worry about it.
Tomboyism so 2019. 2020 is about actual boyism.
No, it was femboys for 2019, tomboys for 2020.
When did we get to the
So-
actual boys thing? Do we actually? I don't care. I don't like boys.
Yeah, I feel like that's the past several centuries.
You're right. Damn. Calling out the centuries.
Damn. I'm done with his story. It's time for her story. Am
Ooh,
I
ooh,
right,
ooh.
ladies?
Wait, no.
I mean, that's not what the word history comes from or really means. Like, it's from the
Not.
Greek historia, which means inquiry or truth. It has zero relation to the English word his.
Oh, sure,
But
but
wait,
like there is such a thing as like convergent evolution and convergent
No,
etymology.
wait. The document that I have, like, in my, like, unfinished documents things for the hypothetical Mars museum heist that I'm eventually going to run and change stars,
Mhm.
the name of that document is Her Story Repeats.
Amazing. It
I'm
must
off.
be said that we stand.
Do not stand me. I'm terrible. By intent. Just stop.
We stand up and leave.
Look, I'm a huge opponent of the concept of standing. I believe that people should not necessarily blindly follow any particular figure that strikes their fancy. I'm much more of a fan of people making up their own minds and deciding based on objective criteria. But, objectively I'm pretty great, so I won't bother too much with standing.
So here's a question. So last time Max talked about seeing more constructed environments, like moon bases and space stations. Here's a question: what is our favorite? What is a constructed environment that we have not seen enough of in fiction and games?
Space Hulks.
Bathrooms.
I like
What?
Space Hulk, however, I don't think it fits in either of the sci-fi settings we'd run with Alien RPG.
You say that, but I disagree.
What is a space?
Because
Hulk?
all
What
a
does that
Space
even
Hulk
mean?
really is, in my definition at least,
Mhm.
is a large, abandoned, extraterrestrial object. So,
What?
abandoned space station, large abandoned ship, anything like that that's big enough to significantly get lost in, and not be able to easily view the scale of on one map, or one battle map, for lack of a better way of putting it. But is in space.
And what
Counts
makes
as a
it
space
what
Hulk.
makes it a Hulk and not just
I'll be
spaceship
right
stroke
back.
station that's abandoned? Because when I think of Space Hulks, I think of 40K and I think the amalgamations of all that shit jammed together and how it creates a unique environment.
I would argue the final determiner in this setting versus the particular Warhammer definition would be that there's something fucky going on.
Does anybody else have any other suggestions?
Wow.
I'm not saying I'm not going to. I'm just playing the field.
Sure. You play the field right after I say my piece. It's fine. What the fuck?
Yeah, because I mean, like we've got moon base. There's like underwater bases. There's those kinds of like facilities that are like tubes.
I'm trying to think about it. I don't know. In a sci-fi setting, I'm not sure. No.
Do you have a favorite constructed environment in the fantasy setting?
Constructed environment?
Yeah.
Odd.
I mean, a city.
Towers. Towers are the best.
I enjoy like underground cities a lot.
Oh, you might be interested in my new setting.
That's one way
You
of
might
putting it.
You might be interested in Mars in the Change Stars setting. as canonized by Madeline.
I mean, sure.
I'm just imagining Madeline wearing a Pope hat right now.
A mitre?
We are all popes of our own creation.
Like, I know it's kind of cliche, but you know the whole thing of like, you know, rich people live above kind of thing. I like those kind of settings a lot.
Literally.
I made one. I mean, literally, my setting is one of those. Like, I like it a lot. It's a really interesting idea.
Wow, what a we live in a society moment. So Rainbow likes a setting where people live in a society. But no, yeah, that's a good example, Rainbow. Like you can do a lot with it. You can do a lot with a big old stacked city. I really enjoyed the imagery. That's part of why like, Ada exists.
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know. I like the things that aren't quite space stations. I like when you put it on a planet that's semi-inhospitable, so it has interesting environmental features, but there's more to work with other than you're surrounded by space.
I
Like the
agree a
blend
lot.
of the
One of the
natural
things I
artificial.
don't like about space sci-fi is that whole isolation aspect.
Oh yeah, because we've had
We've
long
discussed this
conversations.
at great lengths before, but
Yeah.
yeah, my least favorite thing about sci-fi
Your least
Is
favorite?
what?
is the isolationistness of a lot of it, where like, oh yeah, like you're just in space.
Interesting. I should avoid that in the future when I'm posting.
I mean, we've definitely had this conversation before, Pat. So I don't know what you're.
Definitely have, but I always
Mhm.
forget.
We stand a forgetful queen, it must be said.
It's not actually that I forget, it's just that I'm distracted with players sometimes. I'm like, please play with me. The plot is this: you're isolated in space. Everybody hates you. And Rainbow's like, okay, fine, I guess. And I'm just like, thank you so much. I will get you cookies.
Rainbow's like, it's not like I want to be isolated in space or anything, Baka.
Baka.
Also, here's a question. How do you run a tsundere character? Because Casey has explicitly requested that I run her companion wolf a bit more to tsundere, and thus far the only way I can think of to do it is to have the wolf occasionally call her Baka, and I don't think I can, like,
How do you
really
play
flush it
one?
out.
Yeah,
It's-
Rainbow, you're the perfect person to ask. How do you do it?
Okay, first of all, I played like 2 Cinderas before. Second of all, the
But
point is, you basically just like you do the thing, you do all the things you're act for, but you complain about it the whole time.
Yeah, meanness masks affection. Like,
Yeah,
brings her a present. It's like, I don't like you. Take this worthless human. But I mean, I don't know how the wolf sounds.
you're like, God, I hate you, and then you're like doing the thing that they want you to do.
Hmm.
That's basically how you play
I
it.
guess I'll go spy on the Hobgoblin army, but like, it's not because I want to.
Yeah.
It's because I think the party needs it. It's not like
No. You don't even say that. You're like, you're just like, why would I ever do anything you want? And then you just actually do what they want.
Why would I spy on the Hobgoblin army? That's bullshit. I want to go hunt foxes. Oh, by the way, the Hobgoblin army is coming this direction, and we've all done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like it's not like I'm not like I'm gonna do something for you. By the way, here's exactly the information you asked for.
Have you seen Mermista on She-Ra?
No, I haven't watched it.
Mildly did it.
I know you told me to watch it like 5 times. I still haven't watched it.
Why have you not watched She-Ra? Are you fucking with me right now? This is unacceptable. I will force you to watch She-Ra. Have you seen Clockwork Orange? Doesn't matter if you have. There's this one scene that I'm sure you've seen where the protagonist's eyes are propped open with metal forks, right? Just that's what I'm gonna do to you. But it's gonna be She-Ra that you watch.
Amazing.
Yeah, because
That
that's what the
sounds
people
kinda
who made She-Ra and the characters in She-Ra would want. You to torture people into watching She-Ra. That's what they stand
Hey.
for.
I'm sure Hordak would 100% stand for that. Thank you.
Yes.
Wait,
so
who?
Patra. Hordak.
Hordak.
The end.
I
Madeline, have
I
you not
don't feel like
seen
Hordak cares about what people watch as long as they're loyal. Hordak is basically like he tries to be this badass conqueror, but we know that he's just a lab nerd. Like,
Yeah.
that is
That's
But he's
why,
getting good at it.
that's why Hordak and Entrapta were like
trapped.
dead.
Yeah, like
Yeah, they're
Hordak
both-
is a dirty, anxious failboat. You know, is dominated by the powerful woman in his life. That's what happens in the show.
So good.
Wow.
Everything about Kira is so good. Pity they just got canceled on Twitter. Don't worry
What
about
happened?
it. Sure. I don't know. Some people said some problematic things.
Yeah, no, it was a very bad time. Moving right along though. So I'm making an interrogation room. What do we think, everyone?
Interrogation room. What?
Not,
Have
not nearly enough.
I feel like
near it.
interrogation rooms are always featureless, but I don't know. I think you should put like really painfully bad art in there, like art
No.
done by angry children, or just like really bland art, like Muzak style.
Who is this
Hmm.
interrogation room from? Like whose interrogation room?
Like a human one or a
It's,
friend one?
it's
or-
like a human one. This is like, you know, a place where a human being might, like,
Ah.
think like, you know.
There's not nearly
I feel
enough
like
mirrors.
there should
though.
be some blood stains on one of the walls, just like half washed away, but intentionally left there.
Nah.
hmm.
All of the walls
Oh,
should be
come
mirrors.
on. All that's saying is we don't have good janitors. Our budget has been slashed.
Hey, sometimes you don't have good janitors. Sometimes your budget has been slashed.
Yeah, but
You
I'm
should
not
have
scared of that.
Aren't you? though?
You're not scared of unsanitary conditions, Madeline?
When there's blood, like, yeah, I mean, I guess that is a reasonable fear.
Also, I feel like this interrogation room is actually way too large.
Yeah, it is kind of
Well,
large.
Yeah, it is
There's
way
definitely
too
been something
large.
that I've been doing way too much. I like allocate too much space for a room, and then I don't go back
the
and fix
size,
it.
All right, wait.
the white
Oh, you actually put
squares
art on
should
the
be
walls.
the limit of that room's size.
The what?
The
Yeah.
white squares.
Yeah.
Should be the
That's
limit of that room's
that's what
size.
I'm thinking. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, no, Lee, I think definitely.
That's
make it a
that's what the
featureless
shoe in.
room.
That's who I'm screwing. You know.
Alright.
What?
That's because I'm a shoe in.
What?
Yeah, can we talk
I'm
about?
confused now. Stop
Okay.
talking.
Damn.
Damn, that's that Toy Story energy. I'm done playing with you now. That scene just keeps being relevant, doesn't it, Rainbow?
That was what? The I'm done playing with you now.
Yeah.
Actually.
Speaking of done playing, I think I'm gonna go to bed. Night, y'all.
Good night, Queen.
All right.
Now that she's gone, I'm kidding.
Wait, how do we
Yo,
have
this
sectors now?
storm is
Jeez.
picking up. And I'm thinking rather than like a 3x3 hallway, do a 2x2. You know, like add a little bit of claustrophobia here.
Yeah, definitely.
So let's talk about planetary environments that are a bit more hostile, without being like you can't just like not like it's impossible to go outside, but like it would be ill-advised to go outside unprepared.
Acid rain.
That's a good
Acid
start.
rain.
Why is there acid rain on this planet, or is it just like a natural?
Excessive pollution, or
Or maybe it's
Do
just
you remember?
acidic.
Do you
here.
remember that one Stars Without Numbers campaign that you ran way back when with the character that I did way too much backstory on? That's a fun reason to have acid rain on a planet. Just like
I
giant
remember-
flying creatures that
Yeah,
are
I do remember that.
photosynthesized and then they have
God, what campaign was that
yeah.
character for?
the Space 3 Dream Warriors.
Oh. I recall now.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a question: when do we think I should deploy this office wall texture?
What
Should I
is
make
it?
the hallway? Should I make the hallway that, or should I make the hallway facility?
What's it supposed to be?
I don't know, Pat. What is it supposed to be?
It's kind of.
Uh,
I can't.
It's something that I saw in the back background of the actual Alien film when I was watching it and making this tile set, and that's what it's supposed to be.
It looks kind of like an acoustic pad to me. What do you think, Rainbow?
It looks kind of like a, how would you describe that? Like like one of those like music like pad things to me. I don't know, but it also kind of looks like a cabinet a little bit.
Acoustic tiles?
Not
Yeah.
It
acoustic.
looks like
tiles.
a, it looks like
No.
a window or a cabinet to me.
You know the they use them a lot in like it's like a oh my god, I know the word, I just can't think of it right now. You use it to play drums a lot, like a drum pad, but like a lot of people use them to just like activate sounds and stuff too. Oh, there's a word
I know
for
what they're
it.
called. Synthesizer.
No, it's not a synthesizer. That's not what a synthesizer means. A synthesizer is just like something
Yeah,
that creates
I-
sound basically through.
But you're
Without
looking
recording.
for. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
What's the
they're
purpose
called
of-
it's something pad. Anyways, doesn't matter. That's what they kind of look like to me. But the point is,
Heat pads?
I don't know. It kind of looks like a It just looks like a cabinet, to be honest. I don't know. If I were to
I
think
always
about it in the
thought they
context
were,
of
like-
sci-fi-ness,
I thought they were like wall panel sort of covers.
maybe I can see that.
Like, I mean, I figured like there's some like, you know, thermometer ass shit behind it,
Yeah, maybe.
and you know, it's just kind of like a covering of that we pop open when you're like, oh yeah, it's too warm in here, or there's too much oxygen in this air, like, you know, there's too
It could also
much,
be like
or
could
maybe
also be
there's
like some kind of communications thing.
yeah, like an intercom-y thing, totally.
It's just a way to access something in the wall, basically. Doesn't really matter what's
Yeah.
in the wall.
Yeah, that's more or less what I figured they are. I mean, I should maybe know because I made that art asset, but I am 100% based
No, Pat. I think ignorance is bliss.
oh,
Wow.
I don't know why I said that like that.
interesting. Are you trying to dumb me?
No.
Would. But give your best shot. Try to use.
I would gauge more thoroughly. There's this very disturbing, like, lightning cracks out of my window, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna lose power.
Oh yeah, I had the thunder near me earlier. It was really cool.
God.
I mean, you know, we've got 6 viewers. There are 5 of us watching. Maybe we.
No, 4 of us, because Lee can't watch us on stream. So
No, fair. To the 2 people in the audience, we salute you.
To those in the audience who are about to die.
Yes, we will kill you after this is over.
that's not what Lee meant, I don't think.
Well, I mean, we're all about to die in one way or another. Are we not?
So, acid rain. Acid rain is a good one. Is it constantly raining?
Acid rain!
Is it constantly raining, or is it
Some
always like...
stay dry while others feel the pain.
Holy shit, did you guys hear that?
So,
No, I mean we heard sound, but I couldn't hear what it was.
It was a massive...
yeah, no, I'm definitely vibing with this whole always raining thing. It reminds me of
Very
that one Rick
vaporwave.
Bradbury story where everybody was robots and they don't like robots. Wait, no, wrong story. I don't know.
Every time I think of Ray Bradbury's name, I just think of that chick who did the song "Fuck Me, Ray Bradbury,"
Wait, what?
and how he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
What? There's a song called Fuck Me, Ray Bradbury? And I haven't heard of it before? Alright, I know what I'm doing for the next 3 to 4 minutes.
Sorry, I'm not participating more. I'm going through all of my notepad documents and
So good.
organizing them.
I am going to cut the stream
Wait till
because,
when?
like, I think that there's going to be lightning problems soon. But I will see you all. I'm not going to leave the chat. I'm just going to end the stream. Thank you all for coming out. Let me just check.
5
See if
viewers.
there's anyone who
Bye!
Dale Rick. We're going to
My
read Dale Rick.
hypothetical viewers.
You're going to go be nice to Dale Rick. Everyone be nice when we're there. His name is Dale and it's Rick. At once, Dale, Rick, if you will. Okay, done.
What are you doing?
All right.